Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jupiter James, where I awaken the astrologer within you and aim to give you a little motivation and inspiration per your unique placement within your birth chart. Now, if that sounds good to you, let's get into it. Today we're going to get into Neptune in the first house. Now, Neptune in the first house is going to give me someone with very much Piscean energy, and who can be someone very interested in spirituality and who could be also a social chameleon in one way or another. But before we go ahead and unpack those very deep aspects, let's go ahead and separate the aspects. That way we can understand what more with the information we've been given, and we're not just confined to Neptune in the first house, okay? So that way when we see Neptune playing out in the world, we can go, okay, that's giving Neptune energy. And when we see first house playing out in the world, we can go, okay, that's first house energy, okay? So as an astrologer, Neptune in the birth chart is always going to show me the spiritual and the spiritual qualities of a person. You know, even if you are an atheist or someone who is not spiritual, you're going to believe somewhere in your life in magic and in God in some way. You know, some people see God in sports. Some people see God and spirituality in their work. Some people see God and spirituality within their family. You know, some people, I was talking to a friend the other day, and she was dating a guy who was not very spiritual, or who wasn't as spiritual as she was. And I suggested to her, everyone is spiritual. You just have to find out where that is. You know, most people aren't so tuned as a whole to say, oh, you know, I believe in God and God rules everything. But some people see God in different areas of their life, and it's just about knowing where that is. And so Neptune is going to show me where the spiritual aspects and where this person sees spirit, where do they see the magic in their life, and where do they exude those magic spiritual qualities in life, okay? And so that's what Neptune is. Neptune is a higher octave of Venus, okay? And Neptune is the dreamy energy, the spiritual energy. Sometimes it can show me the creative energy, but more so, this is gonna be where things are also a little bit nebulous to the person. This is gonna be where those things are of a higher understanding to that person, or wherever Neptune is sitting, it's gonna show me where that person kind of can't quite grasp that area because they see it as something that is bigger than them or higher than them or of a higher consciousness, okay? So now with the first house is always going to be ruled by Aries, and it's going to be ruled by Mars, okay? That's because Aries rules the first house, and so does Mars, and this is the area of your body, how people see you. This is your ascendant. When you go out in the world, how do you project yourself? And this is the image, the quality of your image that you put out into the world, okay? So what happens when we take Neptune and we throw it in the first house? So with Neptune in the first house, this is going to give me someone with very dreamlike energy. This is going to be someone who can be very spiritual. They are going to carry themselves in a very spiritual way, or also in a very distant, aloof way, and not intentionally. This is just going to be how people see them. They're going to have a somewhat far away look in their eyes, or a dreamy, illusionary quality to them. This could be someone who is kind of hard to grasp. That's why I say this gives me very much Piscean energy. This gives me Pisces rising energy, or just a Pisces sun energy. It's gonna be someone who is kind of hard to pin down and hard to regulate, hard to get to know. So people tend to put their illusions on you. They tend to put their fantasies on you. People see you how they are, not how you are. And sometimes you can use that to your advantage, and you can also fight against that as well, because maybe when you get in relationships with friends or with lovers, people eventually come to know who you are, and they probably will get mad at you because you aren't fitting the mold of what they thought you were. And that has nothing to do with you. That's just that's Neptune in the first house. You know, Neptune in the first house is going to be a blank canvas. You're going to be like this blank canvas, like this mermaid, this mythical creature to people, and people are going to put whatever they are going through, whatever they need, whatever they are searching for in life onto you. You're gonna be that most beautiful person that is their savior, their knight in shining armor, or you could be that bitch that they don't like, or that person that is this or that based on what their insecurities or needs or what they are yearning for or searching for. You're gonna be that blank canvas, that mythical creature that people put a projection on. And this is why you would be very good in film and television, because your look will, I bet your bottom dollar that you are very, very good at either acting. You could be a great actor, but you could be very good at putting yourself on camera. I bet that you have a very photogenic look. Like, I bet you look better on camera than you do in real life, because Neptune rules the camera. Neptune rules the illusions. And so you, again, I'm not saying that, you know, you are good at being a catfish. I'm just saying that you are made to be on camera. Your essence, who you are, your look is made for the camera. Does that make sense? Like, you have a look about you that translates better on camera or in realms that are in, like, on film and television and on TikTok or on Instagram Reels. Anything that is on a camera, you excel at, because you have a very illusionary look. You can be very dynamic on screen, or you can, again, be very good at upholding and propagating an illusion, if that makes sense. So, because remember, Neptune is a higher octave of Venus, and Venus is already in the artistic realm, but Venus takes it up that next octave, and this is going to be more in the, you know, Neptune rules Hollywood, Neptune rules the movie industry, Neptune rules the acting industry, Neptune rules the camera. And so you will be someone that is very photogenic, because you have the qualities of what the camera is supposed to be. The camera, have you ever been to, like, New York or Paris or even Hollywood, right? And you've seen these places, these touristy, amazing places on TV and in that way, and then you get there and you're like, this is what I thought Disneyland was bigger than this. I thought Hollywood was brighter and shinier than this, and you get there and it's a dump. That's because it is illusionary. It's not real. It's a fantasy. It is a ploy to get something out of something. And so that's what I'm saying. You're going to have very much those qualities where before people get to know you is probably where the most magic happens in your life, because people probably want to give you things or help you out based on who they think you are. And you could just be sitting down eating some spaghetti and people are going to think something about you based on what they are going through or what they need in their life, and that can work to your advantage again. And you can be also a very spiritual person, very artistic, again, a little bit aloof. Sometimes you may not even know who you are. Sometimes you sit down and you're just like, I don't understand why I'm here or what I feel or who I am, but I do know that I'm a spiritual person and I've been sent here for a reason. That's all you know. But sometimes it's hard for you to see yourself. Like, when you look in the mirror, you're like, what do other people see? I don't get it. But you are the great chameleon of the universe. You are the great person that is, you're a fish. You aren't a fish, but I'm saying that you are going to be someone that is very mythical, like a Pisces rising. I would really suggest watching my Pisces rising video because it can really help you out on my channel. Go watch that video. Again, it can help you out. You may also attract people like this as well, because Neptune in the first house is going to be looking at the 7th house, and you can attract people that are just like you. Believe it or not, you're going to attract people who show you who you are. You may attract people who you thought they were one way, but then you come to find out that it was a front the whole time, or that they could be tricksters or liars. And not saying that you are, but you have a magical, ethereal quality to you, and that can be used for good or for bad, and it will be all of what you choose to be. You could be someone that can be a great spiritual force in a lot of people's lives and a great savior in people's lives, if that is so what you choose. But if you want it, you could go down the other path where you can just get things out of people, because again, people want to put a projection on you or believe that you are innocent or believe that you wouldn't hurt a fly, when really you're like, I'm an adult and I do what adults do. You know, like, don't put so much pressure on me to be this thing when I'm human. So yeah, you could be someone, again, very spiritual, very woo-woo as they call it. Things like spirituality and astrology and talking about the cosmos could be very much you. If this sounds like you, can you write down in the comments if this is you? Are you a spiritual person? Do people always say, oh my God, you're just so woo-woo, you're so hippy-dippy, your head is always in the clouds? Is that you? Are you someone that wants to just run away from the humdrum mundaneness of the life? You want to find magic, you want to pursue magic, you want to do magic. You are someone you are the quintessential spiritual person, and you are searching for spirit either through you practicing it or you going in search of it, but you are going to give very much ethereal mermaid qualities. I don't know why I think of just Ariel the mermaid when I think of Neptune in the first house. You're going to be that. You're going to be this mythical creature, you know, with an aura about you that is just like, are you sure you're human or are you an angel? Are you sure you're human or are you a mermaid? You're gonna give that energy. So if that's you, let me know. Also, let me know what your Neptune sign is in the first house, okay? Are you a Neptune Aries in the first house? Are you a Neptune Scorpio in the first house? Let me know, because then that would better able for me to like help you and give you a very, you know, specific analysis of what you could be. I'll write back 2 little sentences of what that could mean for you, because remember, this is a general video and there's no way that I could hit the nail on the head for everyone out there looking at this video. But I do know that you're going to be spiritual in some aspect, and if you're not spiritual, you're going to be someone that is very aloof, very mysterious, who people kind of put a projection or a fantasy on. And you can be very good in the arts, very good in, you know, the mystical arts or the creative and performing arts. You could be very good at. You could be very good at music. You could be good at anything that creates an illusion where you're just not a human in a cubicle doing law. No, you're going to be someone creating a force, an atmosphere, doing something that makes people happy or feel something that is beyond the realm of humdrum, mundane, boring life. You're going to be in that film, you're going to be in that show, you're going to be doing that song, you're going to be making that feeling or giving that or learning about that, or just you are that. When you come around, you give an aura of just like, wow, this person is just so different, like, wow, and you feel good. At the end of the day, you feel good. Remember that. So yeah, that's my Neptune in the first house. If you guys want me to do another video per your unique placement within your chart that is not Neptune in the first house, write down in the comments and I will be sure to get that video up. But I really do hope that you got some encouragement and some insight on this placement. It really is a great placement. I will see y'all on the next video, okay? Bye. We're gonna get into Neptune in the second house. Now, Neptune in the second house is going to give me someone who makes their money in very ethereal, magical, or very unknown ways. This is gonna be someone probably who makes their money in creative fields, someone who has their hand in photography in some shape or form. This is also gonna be someone whose values are also very Neptunian. But before we go ahead and unpack that analysis and that placement, let's go ahead and separate the aspects. That way we are better able to do more with the energy we've been given, and we're not just confined to Neptune in the second house, okay? So with Neptune as an astrologer, for me, is going to show me the spiritual qualities of a person, and this is going to show me where this person sees God, where this person exudes magical qualities. You know, I have a friend that is dating this new guy, and she was like, you know, I like this guy, but he isn't spiritual for me. He doesn't believe in God. And I had to correct her, and I was like, no, everyone sees God in different areas of their life. You just have to investigate on where that is. The guy you're talking to may see God and magic in sports. They may see God and spirituality in their family. They may see God and magic in their career. And it's just about finding where that person sees that or experiences that energy or that magic or that spirituality in their life, you know? And that is where Neptune is gonna show you. Do you, as a person, see God, experience God, magic, or the ethereal realms in sports, in painting, in art, in cooking? Where is that for you? And this could be that for you in cooking. But now, with the second house. The second house is going to be ruled by Taurus, and it's going to be ruled by Taurus and Venus, okay? And that rules the second house. And the second house is going to give me themes of your foundations, the values that you hold true to yourself, your self-confidence. It's also going to show me how you make your money, okay? And that is what Taurus and Venus is going to signify in the second house. So no matter what your second house sign may be, that which will always change depending on the person's rising sign, you are going to have always default birth chart out of the packaging. Taurus and Venus is going to be the ruler of your second house, okay? And it's going to give themes of money and stability and your values and the values that were taught by your parents to you. Now, with that being said, you could be someone that growing up you were taught spirituality as a kid, or you could be someone that was taught that, you know, spirituality or creativity in some shape or form was instilled in you. That could be something that is important to you. You could have come from a very spiritual family, a family that was very religious, a family that, you know, really was a little woo-woo, so to speak. You could also be someone who, for you, what is your self-confidence and how you feel could sometimes be a little shaky. You may not know how you feel or what your values are, but you do know that a big value of yours is spirituality and being creative and being someone that is a creative spiritual force in some shape or form. But I do know that sometimes for you that's going to be like, I don't really know what my values are. I'm learning what my values are. I hope that my values will come to me over time. But what I do know is that I like spirituality. I like astrology. I like Reiki. I like massage therapy. I like things that are on a higher plane. That could be a big value of yours, you know? So also with Neptune in the second house, you could really like art. You could be someone who makes your money through art. Sometimes, again, this could also be an area of your life where Neptune is going to give two qualities. It's going to give a absent quality and a very like unknown quality, only because it is spiritual and it is of higher realms. And so sometimes money and how to make money could be very off and on for you. It could be something that just happens, right? You probably make your money out of this could give me the placement of a struggling artist or an artist in general, where it is not something that is always stable, or it is not something that when you make your money, it's not very steady, right? It could be like, okay, I gotta paint this picture for this guy, and if I don't paint this picture or take this picture of this guy, I don't get money. And you don't know where your next client is gonna come from. And then all of a sudden, the next day, when you're down to your last dollar, you get a call from this guy who has seen your work somewhere around the world or on the internet and is calling you up, and then that is how you get money. You see what I'm saying? How it's not stable, and sometimes you don't really know where your next dollar is going to come from, but it always happens out of the sky. Out of the clear blue skies, something happens, and it could be connected to your art or your spirituality, and it's never constant. It's a little shaky. It requires you to have faith. When it comes to your money and making money, it requires you to have faith, and you could be a number of things. You could be an astrologer, you could be an actor, you could be a photographer, you could be something dealing with the arts or dealing with art in general, but it is never steady. It's like off and on. You get this big chunk of money, and then within that chunk of money, it's like, okay, I gotta audition or I gotta promote my art until that next big money comes, or until it's just like that. That's how your money situation is and how your stability forces are in your life. It's very up in the air, and you have to rely on faith, and you have to just rely on your art and your creativity to make money. You have to probably be very creative within your money, and how you make your money is also a factor with Neptune in the second house. This reminds me of Pisces in the second house in a way, you know, where you gotta just really be, you gotta pray to God that you're gonna get that next dollar from somewhere, wherever you get it. But that's very magical. You make your money through magical means, and you know that every dollar in your pocket has come by the grace of God, or whoever you pray to, or the universe, or the cosmos. You know, whatever you do, it's like, wow, by the grace of whoever I pray to, I got that next job, that next odd job. You probably do odd jobs, or you're in contracting work, you know, just something. You don't make your money like normal people. You make your money through magical means and through spiritual means, and you know that every time you get some money, it's by the grace of God saving you. And if this sounds like you, let me know. Write in the comments if this sounds like you. Are you someone that you are probably in film or photography or astrology, and you have to make your money through a creative service, or being creative, or giving a spiritual service or an artistic service? Is that you? Are you a painter? Are you a photographer? Are you a model even, or an actress or an actor? Is that you? Also, let me know, are you someone that came from a background of very spiritual family members? Maybe your family was very big into spirituality or woo-woo-ness, or whatever you want to call it, but your family really instilled those values in you, and sometimes your confidence kind of wavers. It goes up, it goes down, and you don't really know how you feel. You know, you feel good when you do art, you know, you feel good when you're focusing on God and spirituality, but you don't know on a mundane sense where your true values lie. And that could be your true value, is spirituality. Let me know the sign that your Neptune in the second house is, because that would better help me to help you in what exactly you could be experiencing with that specific placement, okay? Because this is a general video, and there's no way that I could possibly hit the nail on every head for everyone out there in the world watching, okay? So yeah, let me know the sign that your Neptune in the second house is, and I'll write back 2 little sentences on what you could be experiencing. But for the most part, I want you to continue to have faith, all right? My Neptune in the second housers, you can make your money through very magical means, very speculative means, all right? By you going to the lottery, or through you doing magic, or you doing astrological realms. Know that you'll always be okay. Know that you'll always find your next dollar. This doesn't mean be lazy. This just means that continue to have faith, continue to put one foot in front of the other, and the universe will be your employer. The universe the universe has you on payroll, and you're always going to be okay. It's going to require a little faith, but you're going to be very lucky in this area. You're going to make your money through very strange and speculative ways and in speculative areas, and it's going to require you to be a little creative. But know that at the end of the day, you're going to be okay. Continue to be spiritual. Continue to hold yourself in high regard with the spirit, and that will satisfy the stars, okay? But know that you're on the right track, and I believe in you guys. Y'all have a good one, okay? I will see y'all in the next video. Bye. Let's get into it. Today we're going to get into Neptune in the third house. Now, Neptune in the third house is going to give me the energy of someone whose mind is always on creativity and spirituality. You are going to be someone that has a very creative and very nebulous mind, and is probably also a little bit psychic in some areas as well. But before we go ahead and unpack those aspects, let's go ahead and separate the aspects. That way we are better able to understand the individual information and do more with it than we are just to do with Neptune in third house, all right? That way when we see Neptune out in the world, we can go, okay, that's giving me Neptune energy. And when we see third house in the world, we can go, okay, that's giving me third house energy, you know? So with Neptune, as an astrologer, for me, Neptune is going to show me the magical, ethereal qualities of a person. It's also going to show me where sometimes this person may not be able to quite grasp that area, only because it is very nebulous or just out of reach in their consciousness, in their brain. They may not know or not be well equipped to handle that area, so they rely on bigger forces to come in and assist in that area. You know, they leave it up to the universe. And so let me give you a story. So I was talking to a friend, and she's dating, and she's going through what she likes and what she doesn't like. And she was dating, and she was saying, you know, the guy that I like him, but he does not believe in God. He doesn't believe in spirituality. And so I can't really date him because that's a deal breaker for me. And I had to correct her and say, no. Everyone sees God and experiences magic and God, or the thing that they deem God, in different areas of their life. They may not be someone who comes right out and say, oh, I believe in God, or I believe in the universe, overarchingly, or in a big general sense, but it's just about being able to pinpoint where that person experiences God. Some people see God when they're hiking. Some people see God when they're cooking. Some people see God when they are, at their job, or when they're giving service to others. And it's just about finding that area of life where they experience that magic, or where they feel that sense of, okay, this is the most magical thing in my life. This is the most nebulous thing in my life that I can be a part of and that I can witness. And that is what Neptune shows the astrologer. It shows me in the birth chart where this person feels that nirvana, sees that nirvana, and is also, they go, okay, that is nothing but the universe at work playing out for me in my life in this area, okay? So that's Neptune. Now, with the third house is always going to be ruled by Gemini, and it's going to give qualities of your mind and your communication, okay? It's also going to show me the dynamic you were with your siblings. How were you with your siblings growing up, and how you are in your immediate surroundings in your life, how you are in your neighborhood, what your neighborhood is like, And also the third house is going to show me, I don't know if I said this already, but it's going to show me like your communication forces, how you talk and what you're always thinking about. Now, what happens when we throw the Neptune into the third house? Neptune in the third house is going to give me someone who, when they speak in a very nebulous, spiritual, magical fashion. This could give me someone who could be always talking about creativity, who, if a normal person was to speak to this person, they'd be like, I just don't get that person. But if a spiritual person was to talk to this person, they go, oh my God, wow, that person is the most creative, in tune person I've ever talked to in my life. That person's so creative. You are someone who's going to be very creative in your mind and in your speech. You're only gonna wanna be talking about these things. You're only gonna wanna be thinking about these things. You are gonna be just very your mind is on spirit. Your mind is on magic. You are always going to be fine-tuned to see the magic in your life and where that is, and only be focused on that. And if it's not focused on that, you aren't present. No, I'm on a pursuit for magic. Gotta go. You're boring me. You're gonna be very much like that, So with this, you could be a very good singer. You could be very creative, and you could sing. Neptune is a higher octave of Venus. Remember that. And Venus is already in itself gives qualities of art, but Neptune takes it up to that next level where, in my mind, I don't know why, but it really does indicate singer for me. You could be someone that is very soothed by music. You love music. Music just does something to you, and that's because Neptune rules music. Neptune rules the creative arts, and you could have a very creative mind. You could be a painter, you could be a drawer. Anything revolving around art and using your mind in it, you could excel at it, and you can be very good at it. And it could be something that if you did those things, if you would just try, you would surprise yourself and surprise others with how good you are at those things. Talking about spirit, talking about astrology, tarot cards. You could even be a preacher. You could be an astrologer. You could be a magician. Anything that it requires you to tap into the higher realms, you could be that and do it very well, and your Neptune will be satisfied when you do that, and you will be received well. When you talk to people, I don't want you to be afraid of getting on that level or becoming woke or being nebulous in your speech. I want you to just continue to be the way that you are, because the right people will find you, and you will probably find yourself around the right people. You can be very soothing and healing within your speech. You can transport others with the things that you talk about to different realms in the things that you talk about. You probably, again, this could be someone that likes to escape in the mind. You could be someone who loves, you love the sauce. You love, you like that. You love to escape into different realms, into different dimensions. You probably have a very active dream life. When you are sleeping, you go into just different planes. You probably love to sleep. You love a good nap. But that's going to be Neptune in the third house. Someone very highly creative, very, very in tune with spirit and the cosmos, and someone who is only going to be present with you if you are present with them in their search for knowledge of the universe and talking about the universe and talking about spirituality or art or dance or creativity in some shape or form. I would highly suggest you doing something with music or, preacher or something like that, where you are talking about spirituality or using your voice in a very creative manner could be very good for you. And that's why I just keep going back to music, but you could be very successful in that. I would really highly suggest that. But don't be afraid of, I know sometimes you look around and you're probably like, oh my God, like everyone is so normal and they want me to be normal and nobody gets me and nobody understands, like, and why don't they understand? Like, why can't they see the magic in life like I see the magic in life? But that is the gift that you've been giving. You've been fine-tuned to see the waters that we live in. The waters, by the waters, I mean the ethereal ether that we all swim in. Some people can see the magic that we're in and some people can't. And for you, your mind is fine-tuned to see it and experience it and only want to talk about it. And you only are gonna want to talk about creative things. And so I don't want you to run away from that. I want you to continue to satisfy that placement by continuing to search for videos in your spare time on astrology. Continue to read books about those things. Continue to be a force of spirituality and only talk about those things. And the more you do, the more doors will open, because it is all about staying on the path, not running away from it. And the placements in our chart shows us that when we express these things and we exude these things, it is when the magic happens. It's showing us the code and how we will be the most successful. And it just so happens that you will become your most evolved and you're most successful when you are creative in your mind and you're focusing on spirit and the magic within this life. Okay, so stay alive, stay magical, stay your amazing Harry Potter self, your amazing magical self, and you will only witness and see God. But okay, if this sounds like you, let me know. But while you're at it, in the comments, let me know the sign that your Neptune in the third house is. Okay, you could also let me know the sign that that's in, and I will write back what you could be experiencing with that. You could have also been the spiritual brother or sister in your family, like between your siblings. Your other siblings didn't really, they weren't as woo-woo as you, but you could have been that for your brothers and sisters. You were probably the creative brother or sister. You were probably the son or daughter that was very creative. And amongst your siblings, maybe your other siblings didn't jive or get that, but they just accepted you as the spiritual, creative sister that was always singing in the room or always playing with her crystals in the room. Or you could have just been the sister that probably kept to herself and was a little like aloof a little bit, because sometimes Neptune can give that energy of either you are doing spirituality with me, either you are creative with me, or we don't communicate. That's what Neptune is. It's either we are spiritual, we're swimming in these magical waters together, or we just don't get it. We don't jive. And you could have been that way with your family and with your siblings, as far as like, this is who I am. Either you guys accept me for my spirituality, or I'm just going to be in my room with the door closed. Until you get with it, I'm going to get lost. That's very much an energy that you could have been as well. But yeah, I really do hope that you guys got some insight and some encouragement from this video and with this placement, because it is a very magical placement, especially to have your mind on spirit all the time and on magic and creativity all the time. But I think I'll see y'all on the next video. Okay, y'all have a great day. Bye. Into Neptune in the fourth house. Now, Neptune in the fourth house is going to give me someone who probably had a very spiritual mother and who today probably also has a very spiritual home, or finds that in order to get into their home, some magical means are necessary, or divine intervention happens when it is time for them to move, or in the way in which they got into their homes. This could give me someone that has Pisces in the fourth house. But before we go ahead and unpack Neptune in the fourth house, let's go ahead and separate the aspects, okay? That way we are better able to do more with the information of each individual aspect than we are to do with Neptune in the fourth house. That way, when we see Neptune playing out in the world, we can do more with that information and understand where it is and what it does. And when we see fourth house playing out in the world, we can go, okay, that's fourth house, and we know what it does and what more we can do with that information, if that makes sense. So now, Neptune for me as an astrologer is always going to show me where this person experiences God in their life, where this person relies on higher forces in their life to take place. It could be something that is just out of reach in their consciousness, or it could be something that's a little bit nebulous to the person. They don't quite get it. You know, it could be an area of their life where they just don't quite understand, but they do know that, you know, they leave it to the universe. They go, okay, that's God is going to handle that area. Or whenever this thing happens for them in life, that's where they see magic. That's where they go, okay, wow, there must be a God. There must be. I am better able to explain it like this. I have a friend that is newly dating, right? She's playing the field. She's out there and dating, and she was on the phone with me, and she was saying, you know, I like this person, but he's not spiritual enough for me. He doesn't believe in God, and he told me that he didn't believe in God, and I had to stop her, and I said, no. Some people aren't so privy to the fact that everyone understands and sees God differently. You just have to investigate where that is. You know, some people feel God and experience God when they're cooking for their family. Some people understand God and see God in the universe when they are doing what they do for their career. Some people see God when they get into a new relationship, or when they fall in love. That's where they see God. And it's not that they aren't spiritual or that they are an atheist. It's just about finding where exactly that person sees God. Some people see God when they're out on a hike. You know, it's just about finding where the person sees these magical etheric qualities, and that is what Neptune is going to show me in the birth chart. Where do you see, witness God, and where do you sometimes not quite get it and don't quite understand it, but you know that God is handling that area of your life? You're just like, look, I don't get it. The universe is just going to have to take care of that area for me. It could also show me the creative qualities within you. When you do it, you feel very creative, or you just feel very like, it's very nebulous. Neptune is very nebulous and dreamy and just magical, okay? So with the fourth house is always going to be ruled by Cancer and the moon, no matter what your respective sign on your fourth house may be, because that will always change depending on what your rising sign is. Know that the default out of the packaging birth chart is always going to have an underlying layer of Cancer, and the moon is always going to be ruling that house, no matter what your sign is and no matter what planets may be on your fourth house. That's just how there's always just a layer under it that is ruled by Cancer and the moon. And what is that? That's going to signify the themes of your mother, who your mother was. This is the area of life, or in the birth chart, where I see how you and your mother interacted when you were a child. How did your mother raise you? What was the atmosphere of your home growing up, and the atmosphere of your mother? What was her aura like? What was she like with you? The dynamic she was with you. And it's also going to show me how you are now in your private life as an adult away from your career. They call this the IC, the Ammonium coli. I don't really know. I don't like that word. I really don't like that word, but it's called the IC, and it's just gonna signify the private life that you are. When you clock out of work and you get in your car, you go get on the subway and you come home and you turn on Netflix, or just when you're away from work, what is that life that you have built for yourself? That's the fourth house. That's the energy of your fourth house, and the sign and the planets are going to tell me what that dynamic is of the life that you've built at home and in your adult life away from work, okay? And it's also going to be about the mother. Now, let's go ahead and mix the two together. Now, with the fourth house in, Neptune. Neptune in the fourth house is always going to indicate for me, that's going to show me someone who grew up in a very spiritual home. Your mother was also probably spiritual at best, or very creative. She was probably someone very highly creative. She was probably an artist, or someone she probably, you know, there could be a lot of things with this, because it can mean that she was an artist. She probably struggled with alcohol. She probably loved the good sauce. She was probably absent, you know, physically or mentally. She could be someone who was not quite there. She was there but wasn't there. Maybe her mind was on art. Maybe she herself just wasn't there in the mind, but at best case scenario, she was someone that was very highly creative for you and probably was very inspirational and probably was just built the home to be very like sanctuary like, and was very creative in the household, and was someone who probably was aloof a little bit, you know, in some shape or form. She was a little distant, and only because she was probably, her mind was just on other things. She was probably very creative, very spiritual, and was like that with you growing up. Now, as an adult, in your private life and in the homes that you find yourself in, you probably want to make your home very creative and very nebulous. You probably have crystals and little trinkets around your home that make it a very creative home for you. You probably are always playing music. You are someone who is also probably spiritual in your own private life, and you are also maybe now somebody who is a little aloof. When you clock out of work, people don't quite know where you are or where you go, but you are at home being creative, maybe drawing or singing or playing music or taking a bubble bath somewhere, and that is who you are in your private life now. And sometimes when you move, like say it's time for you to pack up your home and find a new place for you to go to, sometimes that can be very tricky for you. Sometimes it could be an area of your life that makes you very anxious, and you're just like, I don't want to move because every time I move, I don't know where I'm gonna go, or it's very hard for me to get into that next apartment for whatever reason, and I don't like it because it's a very, I just don't like moving. I don't like moving from home to home because I know when I do move that it's just gonna be very tricky, and I don't like that. And it can mean for you that when you do move, let's just, I'm gonna throw out an example here for this, okay? With Pisces, not with Pisces, with Neptune in the 4th house, you could be someone that probably has bad credit, right? I'm just throwing out a scenario. Or you don't have the money requirements for an apartment or a home or whatever, right? And when you do go out and you find the home or the apartment that fits the criteria in which you could do, you probably have to rely on a lot of faith. You have to like be very creative in the way that you find your next home that you're going to land in. And when you do get that home, you know that it was nothing but the universe helping you out. You see what I mean? That like Neptune is going to give that thing where it's hard to grasp, but it's hard to grasp because that's where the universe and the higher realms are trying to communicate with you to show you that there is a God, that there is a universe assisting you in some shape of your life. And this could be that area of your life that spirit communicates with you in. You know, it can be when you are at home and everything is finally okay, and you throw on Netflix and you cuddle under your covers, that you go, wow, you know what? There must be a God, there must be a universe, because I'm okay. I'm finally in a home that is mine, and like, this feels good, this feels right. Wow, like there must be a God. You see what I'm saying? Like you find God in your own private life and doing your own thing, and in probably moving from home to home. And your mother was probably like that as well. Like her mind was probably on such bigger things that it made her distant from you, only because her mind was on something else, whether it was her career or her job or her life or her creativity or her art. But she was distant only because her mind was on the same things that you're probably experiencing today, which was her mind was on spirit, her mind was on God, or how her next venture was gonna pan out or play out. But yeah, that is Neptune in the 4th house. I do know you're going to be very dreamy, very creative in your home. You're going to want your home to be very, very just like your sanctuary, you know. It heals you in a way. It's how you experience God and magic in your life. It's probably where you do magic. If you were to do little spells around your home, or do magic from home, or you probably like to search for videos like this at home, things that again are very spiritual for you. You like to look for things at home in the comfort of your home that connect you to the universe. This is where you experience it in the comfort of your home, okay? It's probably where you are your most creative, is when you're at home. You probably don't exude those energies out in the world or in your career. You probably keep those things to yourself at home. You keep your spirituality and your creativity to yourself at home. That's when you get to be your most creative, is when you're at home. You probably do piano at home. You probably like to learn guitar at home, you know? But that's going to be Neptune in the 4th house. Continue to have faith, okay? Continue to be someone that is creative in your home, and it is only going to make and foster for you to be a very well-rounded and creative human being. So try your best to do things that cultivate your spirituality at home. Maybe read spiritual books, do little seances or magic from the comfort of your living room. Do things like that really induce that, and you will find that luck happens in your favor, because it is only when we satisfy the planets that we get the best results, okay? When we do the things that we are meant to do based on what is in our charts, that's when magic happens. You know, I like to call that satisfying the planets, is when you do the thing in the specific area of your life that the planets are pointing to, and you don't reject them, or you don't, you know, say, oh, I'm not gonna do that. It will probably be by you being creative at home that you come up with this new painting or this new thing, or you find a new skill from you cultivating at home that now you can show off to the world, and it makes you a lot of money. You see what I mean? So cultivate that. Don't run away from that. It can give you only good results when you satisfy the planets, okay? But if this sounds like you, let me know. Write down in my comments if this sounds like you. Also, while you're at it, let me know the sign that your Neptune in the 4th house is in, and that will show me a little bit more of the dynamic with your mother was and how you are at home, because remember, these are general videos, and there's no way that I could hit the nail on the head for every person out there in the world, okay? So feel free to write down in my comments what your sign is, okay? This is a very fun, awesome community that we have, that I'm building right now. And so let's just get into the habit of communicating with each other. I really want to be the type of YouTuber that you guys feel comfortable talking to for real. Like I will always try my best to write back to you guys, and I'm not gonna be one of those YouTubers that just is like aloof and never writes back. I really want this to be an exchange. I really want you guys to feel comfortable coming to me and asking me, hey, what does this mean and what does that mean? Okay, so write it down in my comments, and I'll let you know. I'll give you 2 little sentences on what your sign in the Neptune in the 4th house could be for you and what you could be experiencing. But overall, I really do hope that this video gave you some inspiration, some motivation, and some clarity within your unique placement, okay? Everything is intentional and purposeful and always working in your favor. If only we knew where those favors were happening. But I will see y'all on the next video, all right? Y'all have a great day. Bye. To Neptune in the 5th house down, this is going to give me a very creative placement of someone who is meant to show off their creativity in some big capacity. But before we go ahead and unpack those, that very deep aspect, let's go ahead and separate the aspects. That way we are better able to understand each individual aspect separately out in the world, and we're able to do more with the information we've been given. That way we're not confined to Neptune in the 5th house, okay? So with Neptune, this is going to show me where this person experiences magic and joy and creativity in their life, where this person sees spirit and communicates with spirit and sees the magic in their life. You know, I was talking to a friend the other day, and you know, she's on the dating scene and she's dating a lot, and she was dating this guy, and she was like, you know, I like him, but I don't know if I can settle for him because he doesn't believe in God. And I had to correct her and go, no. Some people aren't going to be so spiritual to the point where everything is about God, right? Where you can talk to some people and go, I believe in God, there's a God and God rules everything, right? For most people are going to experience God and experience what they deem as God or the universe's hand in things in different areas of their life. You know, some people experiences God on a hike. Some people experience God when they're cooking for their family. Some people experience God when they fall in love with the person for the first time, or when they get into a relationship. And it's just about sitting down with the person and talking it out and saying, hey, where do you see the magic in your life? Is it when you are on a hike, when you are surfing, when you are in your career? Where is it do you see and feel nirvana or God? And that is what Neptune in the birth chart is going to show me. It's going to show show me where something is just out of reach in your life, but when you reach it and you do it and you attain it, you go, wow, I see God in that. You know, wow, like that I see magic in that. Wow, like I'm very creative at that, and that is where I exude my magic in, you know? So that's Neptune. Neptune is a higher quality of Venus, and it's going to give off very ethereal, magical, spiritual, nebulous qualities to it. It's going to be aloof a little bit. It's going to be something just out of reach for you, and you're not going to quite be able to ground it or make it work. But when you make it work, you go, wow, that's God. You see what I mean? That, wow, that's the universe. You see what I mean? I also like to say that this is the area of life where the universe communicates with you, where when it happens, when you do the thing that Neptune is in, that's where you go, wow, okay, that's God. Whoa, because I couldn't have did it. By my own capabilities and by my own talent, there's no way that I could have honed these forces or done this thing successfully without the assistance of God. And that is where that's gonna be your channel, your direct link to go, okay, wow, there must be a God out there. Even if you're the most atheistic person or the most, that's where you're gonna see it. It's gonna be in that area of life where Neptune is pointing to, okay? So with the fifth house is going to indicate your intelligence. It's going to indicate your children. It's going to indicate your creative forces. It's also going to indicate your fun. You know, fifth house for me, I don't know why it is, but fifth house for me is going to be that area of your life where you call up your friends and you say, let's go out. You know, it's when you go out and you have fun. This is what that area of life is going to show me as an astrologer. What is the dynamic? What's the flavor of when you call up the boys or you call up the girls and y'all go out and y'all put on y'all outfits and you get glammed up? What is that energy? What is the flavor? What is the atmosphere in the types of fun things that you deem fun are? And that's what the fifth house is, okay? Fifth house is also the atmosphere of your dating life and your romantic life and the romantic partners that you like to attract initially, all right? Before the marriage, this is how the boyfriend-girlfriend talking stage is for you in the fifth house, all right? And it's also gonna be your future children, and the fifth house is ruled by Leo and the sun. Now, no matter what sign your respective sign may be in your fifth house, know that the underlining layer by default is going to be it's going to be Leo and the sun, all right? Now, what happens when we take the creative, magical, nebulous planet of Neptune and we throw it in the fifth house? This is gonna give the energy of someone who is very spiritually intelligent. You're gonna be someone who is very creative intelligent. You have creative intelligence. Like, you could be someone like a Mozart or someone who is very skilled with a piano, or you can hear the pitch of a piano or a song and be like, oh, that's out of tune. Oh, no, we need to just tune. And you don't even need a tuning fork, or you don't even need someone to do the harmony for you. You just know the pitch. Like, you're gonna have creative intelligence, and you're gonna be someone who knows with music or creative arts. This could give me the natural actor or the natural singer who loves live music and probably loves a good concert. Again, karaoke and going out, anything involving music and live performances that involve music, like musicals or musical shows or live performance or live bands or concerts, you're really gonna love and vibe with. Anything with music, you're gonna love to go out with your friends and do those things. And also, when you go out, a lot of like kind of strange or mystical occurrences happen to you when you go out and you're having fun. So that could be something that you experience with Neptune in the fifth house. With music or creative arts, this could give me the natural actor or the natural singer or someone who just has a natural raw talent that is self-taught because it is gifted to you by the universe. This is something that, again, remember I said that this is where you kind of experience that magic or that God connection, is through your creativity. It's by you being creative that others around you go, wow, you've been gifted with talent. Like, I know you may think that you just woke up like that, but actually Others had to learn how to hit that pitch. Others have to go to school to understand what you've understood innately, and that's because this is where God has blessed you with that area. You are highly, highly creative. You are a very creative person. You could be an actor, singer, painter, dancer. You could be all of them, to be honest. This is like a jack of all trades when it comes to being a creative. You can also be someone who is very good at film and television. That's why I say an actor. You can also have very creative children. Your children are going to be also a force of creativity in your life. They're going to be very, very creative, very spiritual. You are also someone who, with your spirituality, you also probably want to showcase that as well. You're probably going to be someone who likes to showcase spirituality or be spiritual when you go out. When you go out on the town, you are probably someone that loves to do karaoke. Like, you going out and doing karaoke is probably the most fun you will have ever. And you are also someone that, you know, with this energy, sometimes it can show like opposite ends of the spectrum. It could be where, you know, your dating life is probably so out of touch and out of reach for you that when it does happen, you go, okay, the universe is feeling good today. I guess God is feeling good today, like, because someone's hitting up my Tinder or this guy's interested in me. When these things happen, you can see or feel a sense of like there's something in the higher realms that are happening when it comes to your dating life. You could also attract people who are very spiritual. You could be attracted to people who are very creative and spiritual, and people who just are in touch with their spiritual side, or talking about the universe and talking about magic and talking about ethereal type things. You could be attracted to those type of people. Be very careful though with this placement as to not attract people who put up a facade to you in the beginning and then ultimately find out they were lying the whole time, or they were putting the wool over your eyes. Because with Neptune is the ruler of illusions and deception. And so when it falls into a house where you are attracting others, this could mean that sometimes you have rose-colored glasses when it comes to the people that you attract. And these people could be people that, for you, seem so okay. Oh my God, like they are the apple of your eye and they fit every fantasy to you. But if you ask your friends, people go, I think that person is a little, or I would highly suggest that when you get into relationships, and I'm pretty sure you probably have already experienced this, that you should be very careful, and you should always get a second opinion from the people around you who do not have rose-colored glasses on. And I know that's probably very hard for you, because when you get those love feelings, when you like someone, you're gonna like them unconditionally, you're gonna like them wholeheartedly, and you're gonna like all their flaws to the point where you will graze over red flags. But I want you to create a foolproof system for you when you are dating, because with this placement, like I said, it's gonna happen on two extremes. Either this person is gonna be very spiritual and creative, just like you, or they are going to prey on your spirituality and your creativeness and be someone who puts up a facade to you because they understand and recognize that you have rose-colored glasses on. You know, to be as creative as you are, it requires you to be a little bit it requires you to keep that childlike wonder in you, and it requires you to be a little bit above the fray and keep your mind on nebulous things. You know, you're gonna be very like, okay, like let's just have fun, like let's just talk about life and like the universe, and let me just sing my songs, and let me be an actor, and I'm just creative, and like there's a bigger purpose in the world, right? And that type of thinking is great, but understand that this could be the beacon for certain people to come in and play on that, okay? So be very careful of that sometimes your ethereal energy can be a warm campfire for people who want to come in and just soak up all that good energy and all of that ethereal, spiritual, unconditional energy that you may have, and want to play on that. So best case scenario, you attract people who are spiritual and creative just like you. And I want you to be able to ask your family and your friends around if they are seeing what you're seeing, okay, in this person. When a person comes on the scene and is thinking about dating you, date them, give them a chance, of course. But when things start getting serious, I want you to ask others their opinion, because more times than not, they're gonna have a better grasp on what is actually happening and who the person sitting across the table from you actually is, okay? And I want you to take heed of those things. I have Neptune in the 7th house, okay? So I'm speaking from experience, okay? So don't get on me. I'm speaking from experience that you have to be very careful of deceptive people, okay? That's only because you have a very dreamlike quality to you, and you can be attracting people who are putting up a facade, all right? But yeah, you're gonna be very highly creative. I highly suggest you do something in the performing arts or in creative fields, because it can probably make you a lot of money and open a lot of doors for you, okay? It would benefit you very greatly. You are very almost psychically attuned to your creativity. You know what is good, you know what is bad, you know what feels off, you know what feels right for you, and I want you to be able to showcase that, all right? Don't be afraid of this quality, and be careful of rose-colored glasses, all right? Your children are gonna be very highly creative. If this sounds like you though, if anything that I've said within this video, if this sounds like you, can you write down in the comments below if this sounds like you? Are you someone that always attracts these characters who are either very spiritual or very dreamlike, or they just, you know, they have this quality about them that sucks you in, and like you fall into this illusion, and then all of a sudden the ball drops and you're like, wait, who did I just date? Who was in my bed? Like, who was this person and what spell was I under? That's what's gonna happen. It's like these spells happen to you, and it's like, what spell was I under? Does that happen to you? Are you someone who is very, very creative, a jack of all trades in any field? You can get to singing, dancing, anything that just requires you to be creative. Your mind is fine-tuned to being good at it. Like, you're just very good at it. Something feels innately right when you are being creative and showcasing that talent that you've been gifted with. Does that sound like you? If that sounds like you, write down in the comments below, okay? And while you're at it, can you let me know the sign that your 5th house Neptune is in, okay? Because this is a general video, and there's no way that in this general video that I can hit the nail on the head for everyone out there in the world that is watching that. And with certain signs, things can play out a little differently, all right? So let me know what that sign on your 5th house is, and I will write back what you could be experiencing with that sign. But overall, this is a beautiful placement for anyone who wants to dive into the arts and who wants to showcase their talent and who wants to do things in the performing arts, and who is also a little spiritual. But when it comes to their dating partners, just be careful, be very discerning. I want you to use your discernment the same way you use your discernment with your creativity and with your pianos and with your acting and with your singing. The same discernment that you have, and I think you know what I'm talking about, that same cunning eye that you have when you know something is off or doesn't feel right with your instrument or with your creativity and you showcasing yourself. I want you to have that same discernment when it comes to the partners you attract, okay? When you see someone coming in your field, in your auric field, I want you to ask yourself, why is this person coming into my auric field? Why is this person attracted to me? And really vet these people out. Do not allow the rose-colored glasses to seep in, because once it seeps in, you're not going to care about other people's opinions. But be careful of that, all right? I don't want you to always take in these broken birds that just want to soak up your psychic creative energy, and then once they're healed, they peace out, all right? And or who want to like propagate a situationship out of you in some shape or form, you know? Don't fall into that trap. But yeah, that was Neptune in the 5th house. I really do hope that you got some encouragement and some insight and clarity into this unique placement, and I will see y'all in the next video, all right? Y'all have a great day. Bye. Get into Neptune in the 6th house. Now, Neptune in the 6th house is going to give me the energy of someone who is going to be very, very dreamy within their day, and probably going to give a service of spirituality in some shape or form in the spiritual realms. But before we go ahead and unpack that very deep placement or that very mystical placement, we're going to go ahead and separate the aspects. That way we are better able to do more with the information we've been given, and we're not confined to Neptune in the 6th house, okay? So with Neptune as an astrologer is going to show me where this person experiences and communicates with God, or what they deem as God or the universe or whoever they pray to. You know, this is going to show me the spiritual qualities of a person and where that person may see things as like, okay, God is handling that area. That area for me is a little tough, but when you do gain access or that thing does happen for you, you know that it was nothing but God. You know that it was nothing but the universe assisting you in that area or showing you in that area. Like, let me give you an example. So I have a friend in LA who I always talk to. It's a childhood friend, and she's starting a date and things like that. And she likes this guy, but she was on the phone with me and she was like, James, like, I really feel like I like this guy, but this person isn't very spiritual. Like, they don't believe in God, and I don't know if I can get down with that because that's a deal breaker of mine. And I had to stop her and go, no, you've got it all wrong. Everyone experiences God in their own way. It's not that they don't believe in God. Some people are better able to outwardly, as their personality or just in who they are, they go, okay, God is in everything, God is everywhere. And those people are kind of the minority, to be honest with you. But most people experience God in their own unique ways. Some people experience God when they are hiking, or some people experience God when they are cooking for their family. Some people experience God when they fall in love for the first time, or when they are on dates or in romance. That's where they see and witness God, So it's not about if a person believes or not. It's just about sitting down with someone and saying, hey, where do you experience magic in your life? What is that one thing in your life that when you do it, you go, wow, okay, I think if there is a God, that would be it. You see what I mean? That's Neptune. Neptune shows me where that is in the chart for you, all right? So with that being said, Neptune is also going to be a higher octave of Venus, so it's going to show the spiritual qualities, the creative qualities of a person, and this could also show me where things are a little out of reach for you. They're nebulous, remember, and they're nebulous only because you may not have in your capabilities or within your wherewithal to ground that element wherever Neptune is pointing for you, but when you do, that's where you go, whoa, if there is a God, that's it, because you are being assisted in that area and communicated in that area through God in that area of your life, So now the 6th house is going to be your work and service. It's going to be your daily routines and schedules and your health and fitness. What do you do from the moment you wake up to the time you go to bed? And it is also going to show me the flavor of the service that you are meant to give in this life. Even if you are a nurse, a waitress, or a firefighter, you're going to approach those things from this 6th house in that type of sign, that energy you're going to experience. Those 3 different jobs that you have in your life, you're going to approach them from the same lens, okay? And that's what your 6th house is going to show me, all right? Now, what happens now? Also, 6th house is ruled by Virgo and it's ruled by Mercury, all right? Now, no matter what sign your respective 6th house may be ruled by or in or under, know that the default out of the packaging birth chart is always going to be ruled by, 6th house is always going to be ruled by Virgo and Mercury, all right? Now, what happens when we throw Neptune in the 6th house? Now, Neptune in the 6th house is going to be a little shaky here. It's not going to like to be in this house because Virgo is a very practical sign. It's all about practicality. It's all about doing things by the book and like getting up at a certain time and making things very grounded, right? Like your routines and your schedules and doing this and doing that. But for you, you are going to be someone that does not like that. You're going to be someone that's like, look, I'd rather just like wake up when I want to wake up and do what I want to do. And you're not going to really want to submit to that practicality at all. Now, this is gonna make for the Lord of the opposite sign of Virgo's house. You're gonna be in that. Like that's what Neptune is. It's gonna be in an opposite Lord. That's why I'm saying this is gonna be in its detriment here. It's not gonna like it because Neptune rules Pisces and the opposite of Pisces is Virgo, and it's in a Virgo house now, and so it's not gonna like that. You're gonna be someone that probably loves to sleep all day. You're probably gonna be someone that just wants to stay in bed and dream and like create and just like be lackadaisical and just dream about the stars and the universe. You're not going to want to do very many practical things in your life. But on the flip side to that is that your service, what you give to the world and what you do, you're probably going to want to be someone that is very creative, someone that gives spirituality, someone that does very spiritual things in life and uses your spiritual faculties and strengths to serve others. You could be a healer. You could be someone that is inspiring. You could be a musician, an actor, someone that is, again, using the creative spiritual forces that you have as a service to others. And that could be something that you do within your day. But again, you're not going to be someone that likes practicality within your day. And this is a very hard planet to be in the 6th house, because you're just going to be like, you woke up, you're going to wake up tired. You're going to wake up and be like, no, like, I just want to dream all day. Like, I just want to be creative. I want to dance. I want to sing. I just want to not, a schedule. You are probably late all the time because time is ruled differently for you. Time and being on time, you're just like, I'll get there when I get there. No. I'll get there when I get there. And you probably realize that by you being that way, right? When people are rushing you and you are being rushed, that's when you lose things. When you are on time and you have to like submit to that order, you find that things go wrong. You probably lose things, or things go wrong. Like, you may get in crashes. You may find that you just lose track of time and your thought process is off. You can't think straight. But the moment that you breathe and you do things in your own time and you get there when you get there, and you're not worried about time, you're not worried about expectations, that's when the train comes. That's when, it could be a bunch of traffic out on the street, but when you just go, I'll get there when I get there, and it could be 5 minutes and you're all the way on the other side of town and there could be traffic, but somehow, some way you get there. You see what I mean? Like, this is where within your day you're going to see God on your daily basis, because for you are going to be making spirituality practical. You are going to literally be pulling the stars and putting them in your living room or in your day-to-day, and it's going to make you very ethereal. It's like putting magic in practicality. It's practical magic. You are going to be expressing practical magic on the daily, and that's going to make you someone that can be seen as a spiritual force, or very creative and just very nebulous. People aren't going to quite understand you, and know that in your career people are going to see that of you and probably not like that, because they know that you're not going to go for it. They're like, look, that boy is too creative, that girl is too creative and too spiritual to be worried about this corporate jargon that I'm trying to dish out. You're gonna like, look, I'll get there when I get there. All right, life goes on. The universe is bigger than this corporation. I do not care. That's how you're gonna be. You're just not going to care in that sense like that. You're gonna care about the universe. You're gonna care about magic. You're gonna care about spirituality and just being you. And like, you're just gonna, let's just read the stars. Can I do your astrology? Like, I feel like you doing astrology, you being a creator or an actor or doing something that requires you to be creative, can do you some really big good. Now, another thing I've noticed with this placement is that you are also going to be very sensitive to substances. Like, drugs and alcohol are going to be very, very like testy for you. Like, you could do look, your friend could be smoking something and you get a reaction from it, and you're going to be so sensitive to it that it's going to be like you'll find that you can't do it. You just can't, because again, you're already there. You've hit the ceiling. With Neptune in the 6th house, you see and experience God on a daily basis. You're high all the time. You're high all the time just on life, because your day-to-day is on. You are already there. What people on a normal day, on a day-to-day basis, what they are running away from, they're trying to run away to what you've already woken up in. You are already experiencing magic on a daily basis. You see the magic in everything. Your walk to the gym, your walk to work, your walk to the grocery store, you see God in that. You're already there. You're already there. And so when you smoke, it's too much. When you drink, it's too much. It's like you start to turn into a Looney Tune. It's like, oh my God, I am really breaking the veil, and I'm getting too high. And that's when Neptune will beat you back down and say, no, you're already there. You don't need to get any higher. You don't need to do any more substances, and you can be very, very sensitive to substances. And this is also going to make for someone who responds really well to natural medicine or natural remedies like herbal medicine or home remedies, things like that. Very natural, herbal, Ayurvedic remedies, Ayurvedic medicine is going to do you very well. Know that you are also going to have illnesses and things that doctors aren't going to really understand. You could probably go to the doctor and say, this is wrong, but they're going to be like, everything's fine, I don't see what you're talking about. That's because a lot of your illnesses will be on the spiritual plane. They will probably be more spiritually affected. Like if you are spiritually hurting for something, or there's something spiritually wrong going with you, it'll attack you in the body. And so be very cognizant of that. If there is something that you are dealing with in your daily life that is attacking your heart and your soul and your mind, it's going to play out in the body. And it is only until you rectify that on the spiritual realm by praying or submitting to what you know you need to do. Like, let me give you an example. Say in your life, you know you should be living somewhere else, and you know that you should do something, or you know you should say something, right? And you refuse to do it, but you know it's right, and something in you is telling you you're meant for more. You're meant to be living in a different city. You're meant to be you're meant to quit that job, but you're afraid of doing it. Know that you're probably going to get anxiety problems. You're probably going to get chest problems. You're probably going to get back problems, right, where you need massages all the time. But know that that kink in your back, or that ache in your hip, or that tightness in your chest is not going to go away until you do the thing that your soul is telling you to do, until you follow that inkling, that psychic inkling that you have, or you rectify it on the spiritual realm by submitting to the thing that you already know, or walking the path that you are meant to walk. That's when the ailments are going to leave. You understand? Like this is practical magic here. You're not going to respond to conventional modern medicine. You're going to respond to natural remedies the best. You are not going to be able to do drugs and alcohol like others do drugs and alcohol, because you're going to be very highly sensitive to it, and that's only because you are already there. You are walking in magic in your day-to-day. You are not going to like schedules and routines. You're going to be someone that does not like a job only because it confines you to being early and being on time, and you're not going to like that. You are going to find that you are late when people invite you to places. You're going to be the one that's always late, and that just is the way it is. But you know that when you take your time and you walk with God on your day-to-day and you put God first, that's when you see the magic that everyone is searching for. You know, this can be a hard placement, but only if you are forcing yourself to do things that the placement isn't meant for. And so for you, you get to just walk with God all the time. You get to be creative in your day. If you need to take a nap, take a nap. Like if that's what you need to do, do it. But I do know that your service is going to be in the realm of being creative, helping people solve things on the creative realm. You're going to be someone that can be a massage therapist, or doing things. You can be a Reiki healer. You can be a musician, a singer, a dancer, anything that is creative and nebulous and just, you know, as people say, woo woo. But it's not going to be woo woo for you. It's going to feel like this is what we all should be able to do. We should all take our time. We should all just be able to wake up when we need to wake up and do what we want to do. That's your service. That's what you are meant to do. When you, in that, you witness God. You witness God on your day-to-day. And you doing the mundane things, that's when you witness magic. And what a beautiful placement that is, that you see magic and witness magic in everything that you do. By you going to get coffee, you're like, wow, like what a blessing this is for me to go and get coffee. And I just saw God on the concrete. I just saw God in the tree on my way here. I just saw God in the birds and the trees. And you sip the coffee and you're like, wow, you know, God was in this coffee. Anything mundane, you're just going to see. You're going to have an etherealness in you and the things around you. And that is a very blessed placement. It's awesome and it's amazing, and it has its downsides, but for the most part, it's going to be what everyone wishes they could experience. You're literally like a walking Harry Potter or Hermione Granger, to be very honest with you. It's kind of amazing. But yeah, with this placement, continue to be you, continue to find magic in your day-to-day, and everything will continue to work out in your favor. You know, you really do pull things out of thin air, like right in the nick of time. You're always going to be on time. You're going to be at the right place at the right time at all times, and that's because God is assisting you in everything that you do with this placement. The universe is assisting you in everything that you do within this placement. Know that everywhere that you are is where you're meant to be, and take your time. There's this quote that I think of with this placement. It says, if you rush, you are ahead of God's timing. If you wait, you are behind God's timing. But if you move when you're supposed to move, you are always on time in what God has for you. That is you. Do what feels right. Do it in your own time. Don't wait too long and don't rush, but do it when the thing in your soul says it's time. You will always be on time. That's when you catch the train that wasn't supposed to be there. That's when you catch the bus that was supposed to be there, but he's running late, and guess what? Now you're on time. You see? So yeah, that was my Neptune in the sixth house video. If this very helped you, write down below what your sign in the Neptune is, and I will write back to you what you'd be experiencing. All right, what sign on your Neptune 6th house are you? Are you a Neptune 6th house Virgo? Are you a Neptune 6th house Capricorn? Are you a Neptune 6th house Aquarius? Write down what that is, and I'll write down 2 little sentences on what you could be experiencing with your respective Neptune in the 6th house. All right, but I really do hope that you gain some clarity and some insight and encouragement with this video, and I will see y'all on the next one. All right, y'all have a great day. Bye. Into Neptune in the 7th house. Now, Neptune in the 7th house is someone who can be very idealistic in love, and who also attracts people who could put up a facade in the beginning and then plays out to be someone else in the result. But before we go ahead and dive deep into that very, very deep aspect and tricky placement, let's go ahead and separate the aspects. That way we are better able to understand the information we've been given in different areas of our life, and that way we're not confined to Neptune in the 7th house. Okay, so with Neptune in the birth chart, Neptune in the birth chart is going to show me where this person experiences magic, where this person experiences God or the universe or whoever they pray to, and it's going to show me where this person could kind of not be well equipped in this area, where this person probably leaves the universe to assist them and help them out in that area. I like to explain like this. I have a story actually. I have a friend who I was on the phone with, and she's in LA, and she's, you know, out there on the field, playing bachelorette, so to speak. And she was telling me how she likes this guy, and he's perfect, but he isn't spiritual enough for her. You know, he doesn't believe in God, or he doesn't claim to believe in God. And I had to stop her, and I had to say, hey, no, like, to be honest with you, we all experience God in our own way in different areas of our life. It's just about sitting down and investigating. You know, most people in the world, whether they know it or not, even if they tell you they aren't very spiritual or they don't believe in God or the universe, everyone experiences a certain dose of magic or a certain touch with what they feel God could be in different areas of their life. You know, some people experience God and magic and nirvana when they are cooking for their family. Some people experience God when they are on a hike or when they travel. Some people experience God when they do a good job at work or when they get a job in general. And it's all about finding where this person or where a person experiences what we deem God or spirituality. And this is what Neptune shows an astrologer or myself. It shows me where this person, you know, it's just out of reach for that person. Maybe this thing is so hard for a person that when they finally get it, they go, wow, you know, I hoped and I prayed that this thing would happen, and when it finally does happen, or when that thing finally is successful, that person knows, wow, it was nothing but the universe that assisted me in that area. And that is Neptune. Neptune is a higher octave of Venus, and it is our spiritual faculties. It is our magic. It is where I like to say the universe communicates to a person to say, hey, you didn't do this, I did. The universe is telling that person, and that person has to go, wow, you know what? I say I don't believe in God, but that area of my life, when it is running smoothly and it's successful, I know God is handling that. I know the universe is handling that, okay? So with the seventh house. The seventh house is all about how you deal with the public, when you walk outside and the public is dealing with you and you're dealing with the public, what is the atmosphere, what's the tone, what's the energy in which you are meant to deal with the public, okay? And deal with business partnerships and deal with the people that you don't know on the train, or just in general, right? It's the general overarching atmosphere of your relationships and the tone in which you deal with the public and how the public deals with you. And they also say that this is your descending sign. Again, this is the sign that you give when you're dealing with the public in some shape or form, okay? And that is ruled by Libra, and it's ruled by Venus. It is also your marriage and your business house. Now remember, no matter what your sign on the seventh house may be, because that's always going to be different, that's always going to change depending on what the rising sign of the person will be, know that the default out of the packaging ruler of the seventh house is going to be Libra and Venus, okay? Now, what happens when we throw Neptune into the seventh house? Neptune in the seventh house is going to give me the energy of someone who idealizes love and relationships and marriage. This person can be so idealistic in love that it's hard for them to settle. It's hard for them to get into just any old relationship, because if the relationship isn't like that Edward Cullen, Christian Grey, Romeo and Juliet type of love, they don't want it. And this sometimes, most times, in their life is going to get them in a lot of trouble within relationships, because usually they'll be attracted to the people who are emotionally unavailable, or who are the bad boys, or who are the loners, or the stoners, or the skaters, or the people, the broken birds. You know, they're going to be really attracted to that energy, and they're going to have this energy around saving someone and being a savior for someone and changing someone and fixing someone. They're going to have that very idealistic Romeo Juliet star-crossed lovers hope and ideal when it comes to their love and their relationships. Now, this could also be someone that in relationships they have rose-colored glasses on, and they could be someone that takes the approach of the unconditional lover, or the person that wants to be the savior for the person in the relationship. And they will attract people who prey on that energy. You know, the people that they attract will feel that from them and be someone that needs someone to be that, which is someone who overlooks their flaws and who is very dreamy and all that. And they will probably get themselves in these really weird relationships where the person is pretending to be one way with them to get something out of them, but is a completely different person. They are not that person that they want them to be ultimately and in the long run, you know. But at best, this energy can give someone, when the person evolves, listen, when the person understands and begins to submit to the fact that they are attracting these people who ultimately aren't serious, or who ultimately doesn't want the best for them, or who is putting up a facade, when this person gets well versed in how Neptune is attracting these people to its front door, they are going to be people who are going to be able to smell that and sniff that from a mile away, and be able to shift that energy into being attracting a more mature force of that planet, okay? And so at best, this is going to make for someone who, when they heal these wounds, when they are saying, you know what, universe, do not send me any more broken birds, do not send me anyone else who is not honest about who they are. You are no longer going to go after relationships in the hope of who you think someone is, or the hope or the illusion of who you think they are. You're gonna when you begin to take people for face value, that's when you will attract that person who fits your ideal. You see, you gotta stop. You gotta almost kind of sit back and say, no, I'm actually gonna be practical about my dating life. I'm gonna only attract people who are being honest with me. I'm gonna keep 10 toes down on the ground with my marriage partners, because I'm sick of getting hurt. I'm sick of these people and these bad boys and these people who really don't want me but want what I can give them, or they just want to play around with me, or they don't want to be serious with me. You're gonna be able to really sense that energy and be fine-tuned at it, to the point where what was your poison will become your superpower. You will be able to go out in life and know who's lying to you. You're gonna know who is a trickster and who's not, who's serious and who's not. And when you begin to evolve your mind to not go into your dating realm with rose-colored glasses on, this is when it transforms to a superpower where you'll really be able to see who is who. You're gonna be able to know what is what. You're gonna know when someone's lying. You're gonna know when someone's trying to get over on you, because you're gonna be well versed in it. You're gonna be so well versed in who is a liar and who's not that you're gonna know what a lie looks like now. You're gonna know why, like, what was attracted to you before is not going to be attractive to you anymore, and it's going to mature. The energy is going to mature, and when you mature, that's when you're going to start to attract spiritual people. You're going to attract people who are also creative, who are also, you know, just like you in the sense that they are creative and very spiritual, and you're going to have that idealistic love that you were always meant to have, but you were just searching in the wrong areas, you know? So I would be very careful with this placement and try to really ground yourself. Also try to be someone that when you are dating, I want you to ask your friends what they honestly think about this person, and heed their warnings. When they tell you who they think this person is, know that they are coming from a perspective of someone who does not have rose-colored glasses on, okay? Because in more times than not, when you get in relationships, it's gonna be something that you just throw all 3 sheets to the wind. You want to quit your job for, you want to lay in a bed for all day for, you're just going to throw it all to the wayside for love and for this, and it's going to be like you're under a spell. And so to put some fail safes in that, to help yourself, I want you to ask your friends what they think. More times than not, your friends will be the ones that are able to tell you what is really going on, because they're not going to be affected by the spell, okay? And listen to them, because they are actually seeing what is in reality. You're not going to be able to see it. And when the right one comes along, your friends will agree. That will be my biggest advice to you. When the right one comes along, not only will they go, whoa, no, actually that is the great person for you. That's the person for you. But the ones that come around and your friends are like, yo, that's not, that person's not who you think they are, I want you to run. Run, because they are actually telling you what is going on, and you could really be susceptible to those rose-colored glasses and those broken birds. I'm telling you, like, this gives me very much Pisces in the 7th house energy. I also want you to watch my 5th house Neptune video. My 5th house Neptune video gives the same energy as this, because that 5th house is your dating life, right? And so it's the same thing with 5th house in Neptune. Watch that video if you want some clarity. Also watch Pisces in the 7th house if you want more clarity, but this is going to give that energy of that. Neptune in the 7th house is going to attract very problematic relationships until you mature, until you are able to come at your relationships from a practical standpoint and not an idealistic standpoint. That is when you will attract the idealistic lover. You cannot go for the broken birds. You cannot go for the cool bad boy. You cannot go for the guy with the movie star good looks. I mean, you can, but vet them out. Sit at the table and don't get googly eyed. Don't just take what they say at face value. Really try to investigate and come at the marriage or the person that you like from a calm nervous system, and really ask yourself, is there an ulterior motive of this person beyond them wanting to get to know me? Does this person need a couch to sleep on? Does this person need money? Does this person have their life together? And if the answer is no, know that they may be coming to you for a different reason. And this could also be that same energy within your business relationships as well. Maybe in your business relationships, some people want to use you in your relationships, and you'll be very keen on that too. You'll start to understand, okay, is this business relationship mutually beneficial? You in your business relationships are usually going to fall into the territory of being someone who provides a service in the realm of creativity or in the realm of escapism in some way. It could be entertainment, it could be movies, it could be acting, it could be in the alcoholic business or in the, you know, drug business, things like that you could be in. Or you could be someone that is like a spiritual leader in your business or something like that, where you're providing some type of magic or like creativity. So film, art, club life even. I've seen club life, alcohol, bartenders, things that are just creative and building an aura of like entertainment. Entertainment is going to be something that you're in, but know that there could be ulterior motives when you sign on the dotted line. So I want you to be very careful of that, be very susceptible to that. And you're gonna, listen, with this placement, it sucks that you are gonna be burned so many times, but it is gonna be in that burning that it's gonna build that sixth sense within you to know who's good for you and who isn't. You're gonna have almost a magical keen sense in the long run of knowing before the person even walks up of who's good for you and who's not. You're gonna know what people are up to and what they're not, and if they're honest or not. And at best, you're gonna attract very spiritually aligned business partnerships. You are gonna work in a spiritual field. You are also going to attract very spiritual and idealistic lovers that are successful, that are good for you, but only until you ground yourself and you come at things with a practical standpoint. Don't be so, you know, head in the stars or head in the clouds with this placement, because a lot of people can take advantage of that, unfortunately. But continue to be creative, continue to be someone that is approaching everyone with a benefit of the doubt type of energy, but don't do it to the extent where you get the brunt end of the stick, because a lot of people will take advantage of that. But at best, you're gonna attract spiritual business partnerships, creative business partnerships. You're going to be someone that works in spirituality and creativity and entertainment, and you are going to attract people who are also probably in that field as well. Okay, so I really do hope that this gave you some clarity and some insight as to this tricky placement with Neptune in the 7th house. Know that this is not a sentence for you being lonely or destitute or having problems within your relationships. It just requires you to be very mature. It requires you to be mature with this placement, or you're going to continue to attract these partners who don't really want anything and who ultimately it doesn't foster anything real or substantial. Okay, so come at things from a very smart approach, and it is then that you will attract the ideal lover that actually loves you and actually cares for you and wants to do everything for you and fall on the sword like you fall on the sword for other people. Okay, so yeah, that was my Neptune in the 7th house video. If you guys want me to do a different placement from a different, you know, a video of a different placement of yours, let me know. Also in the comments, let me know what your Neptune in the 7th house is, and I'll write back what you could be experiencing and who you may be attracting with that placement. Okay, write down the sign that your Neptune in the 7th house is, and I'll write back what you could be experiencing with that. Okay, but yeah, I love y'all and I'm rooting for you, and I will see y'all in the next one. Y'all have a good one. Bye. We're gonna get into Neptune in the 8th house. Okay, Neptune in the 8th house is going to give me energy of someone who is very psychic and is almost divinely tuned to the timing of their life. They know what's next, what to do next, what is going to happen next, and this is going to give that energy of that. But before we go ahead and dissect that very deep placement, that very mystical placement, let's go ahead and separate the aspects. That way we are better able to do more with the energy we've been given, and we're not just confined to Neptune in the 8th house. Okay, so with Neptune in the birth chart, for me, it's always going to show me the spiritual faculties of the person. It's going to show me where this person finds spirit, communes with spirit, and sees spirit. And by spirit, I mean the universe, God, magic, nirvana. You know, I am better able to explain it like this. You know, I have a friend who I talk to. It's one of my really good friends, and she called me up and she was playing the dating scene, right? And she's like, you know, a deal breaker for me is someone being very spiritual. And she was on a date with this guy, and she was like, you know, I really like this guy, but this guy isn't very spiritual. And I was like, no, you got it all wrong. We are all spiritual. It's just about finding where that person sees spirit or communes with spirit or experiences spirituality. We all experience spirituality, whether you are an atheist or whether you are you know, the Dalai Lama. We all experience it, and it's just about pinpointing where that is, you know. And for some people Some people experience God in the universe when they're on a hike. Some people experience God in the universe when they're playing basketball. Some people experience God in the universe when they are cooking for their family. Again, it's just about finding out where a person sees and experiences what we deem as God or the universe. And Neptune, more times than not, is what is going to show me that in a person. Okay, so that's what Neptune is. Neptune is the magic, the spiritual faculties of a person, and it's also that place in the chart where that person can't quite ground that energy. You know, that person has a hard time grounding that energy and making that part of life real, because it is probably out of their consciousness. It's just outside of their scope, so that when these things do happen and these things are grounded, that person goes, wow, you know, that was nothing but the universe. That was nothing but, you know, divine intervention stepping in to help me out in that area, you know. So that's what Neptune is. It's where the universe kind of blocks something and puts it out of your scope, so that when it does grant it, you go, wow, that must, if there is a God, that's it. You see, it communicates through that part in the birth chart for a person. Okay, so with the eighth house is a very mystical house. It's the house of transitions. It is ruled by Scorpio, Mars, and Pluto. Okay, so now no matter what planets and no matter what sign your respective eighth house may have in it or on it or ruling it, know that the default out of the packaging birth chart, the eighth house is always going to be ruled by Scorpio, and it's going to be ruled by the planet Mars and Pluto. All right, and this is going to give you themes of sex, of transformation. It's going to give you themes of intense traumas that may have happened. It's the house of magic. It's the house of the occult. It's the house of astrology, the house of, you know, taboo things that we don't really like to talk about with our parents. I like to say this is the house that we don't talk about when we go visit our parents and we go sit down with them at the dinner table. We never talk about sex with our parents. We never talk about taxes. We never talk about debt. We never talk about other people's money or their money or how you're getting money. And we don't talk about magic and the occult and astrology with our parents, right? Unless you have very cool parents, unless you have very in touch, in tune parents, this is what that house is. It's that taboo house of those secret undercurrent lying things. Okay, it's the house of the occult. Now, with that being said, what happens when we take Neptune and we throw it in the eighth house? Okay, so this is going to give me someone that has very, very psychic energy. This person is going to be very divinely in tuned with the transitionary periods in their life. This person is going to be very tapped into what is going to be happening next. And when they do, in the midst of their transitions, while they go through the crazy transitions that they go through in their life, they're gonna know that it is divinely ordered. Does that make sense? They're gonna almost submit to it and understand, like, okay, this is that time where it's time to quit that job and I'm gonna be broke for a little bit, or I need to break up with my boyfriend and I'm gonna be sad for a moment, but it's gonna be okay because God is showing me this and this and this and this. The universe is trying to tell me this and this and this. You see what I'm saying? That's what the person with Neptune in the eighth house is gonna be. They're always going to understand the purpose of what is happening in their life. They're going to be divinely in tune with it, and they're going to know things about other people as well. This is a very, very psychic placement with someone with Neptune in the eighth house. People are also going to see this person as highly, highly psychic and highly spiritual. You are going to be someone that people can confide in, and you're always going to give people very spiritual sound advice because you're just, again, you're tapped in that way. With Neptune in the eighth house, this could also give a little trouble though in the area of you opening up to partners and being sexually intimate with partners, or just sexually intimate on dates, or people that may like you or you may like them, because for you, unless the situation is ideal, unless it is like a movie, unless it is like Edward Cullen and Bella Swan type love or Romeo and Juliet type love, you're not going to be very receptive to just any old love. You're not going to be susceptible or settle for just regular mundane love or intimacy or bonding. You're going to want it to feel like a movie. This is Neptune is a higher octave of Venus. So if Venus is already kind of like, oh my God, I love love, Neptune takes it up a notch. And if Neptune is in a sex-driven house or a soul-bonding house. This is going to mean that you're going to want things to be extremely idealistic. And again, if they're not idealistic, you're going to be aloof to it. You're going to be like, no, I know the universe has something better for me. No. You're going to be very, very picky, and you're going to want an idealistic love. But know that when you do find that person that you feel a way about, and only you will know, listen, I can't tell you what that is, only you will know. You may go for the person that people will never think you go for, but this person might be perfect for you. They might fit the ideal in your mind. But when you do find that person, you are going to be textbook romance. You are going to be like Shakespeare. You are going to be that's the type of love that you want, and it's gonna be like something out of a movie. You are going to be very sacrificial within your love, and it's gonna require you to, this is how the love that you want is going to be so deep, and you want it to be so deep that not only is it like a movie, but it's gonna help you tap into an even higher spiritual faculty. I would beg to make the wager that when you fall in love, and the times that you do fall in love, you always chalk it up to, wow, we've met each other in a past life, and you are my star-crossed lover, and you know, we will meet again in another past life, and you are my twin flame. Like, you are like these themes, that this is how you love. You love on that deep past life lovers, star-crossed lovers. And if you don't get that feeling, if you meet someone on a date and they don't give you that spark, that magic, hard stop. You're like, I don't even want to know your name, because I didn't get that love at first sight feeling. Sorry. That's how idealistic you're going to be in love. And unless you get that, you're not going to want it. Now, I will also say, going back to the transitionary periods in your life, you are also going to be divinely graced in this area. You are going to notice that if you continue to have faith in the transitions of your life, and you do what you know you should do by divine orders, because you are gonna be divinely ordered. You're gonna know, okay, I need to make this move today. I need to stay back today. I need to just chill today. I need to make this move. I need to quit. You're gonna know, but you're gonna be divinely graced. You're gonna be divinely protected. Now, this doesn't mean that you get to just sit around in times that are hard, but it does mean that when times get hard, know that you're gonna be blessed, okay? Know that you will be okay, because this gives me just magical energy. You are meant to transform this life, and you are meant to go through things so that you do understand that there is a higher power. When you come out of these transitions that you come out of, you gain more spirituality, you gain more wisdom, you gain more divine secrets about life, and then in turn you are able to help others with their transitions on a spiritual level. You are able to, you could be like a preacher, an astrologer, the local medicine man in your neighborhood. You could be the local bruja in your neighborhood. It doesn't matter. You're going to be just that type of figure. But with this placement, not only will astrology and occult and magic come easy to you, but you're probably going to be someone that has a lot of debt, or gets in little tiffs with taxes, because those areas are very practical in your life, and this is a non-practical planet, so you're not going to be very good in that. So I would say watch out for accumulating debt, watch out for accumulating large tax sums, pay your taxes, do what you need to do. That ain't none of my business, but I'm just saying, I'm warning you against that, because I can tell that with Neptune in this sign, in this house, you are going to really just not be focused on that. You're going to be focused on God. You really are. You're going to be really, really focused on the divine secrets of life. And it's just so funny that with this placement, the secrets aren't going to be secrets. You're just going to know. It's like you were born with this knowledge of knowing what the universe is and the divine timing of things. You're never going to really be scared, because you're going to understand, okay, this is what God wants from me. Okay, I'm going to do that. Okay, that's fine. This could be a very submissive house, where you submit to the plan of the universe over your life. You're never scared, because you have so much faith. This is what that could be. But if this sounds like you, let me know. Are you someone that is very psychic, and astrology and the occult comes very easy to you? Does the times of transitions that you go through, did you come out of those times of transition with a lot more wisdom and a lot more divine connection than you did going into it? Also, are you someone that idolizes love, and sometimes you may have trouble opening up in the bedroom or getting on that level with people, on a very deep soul level with people, because you feel that they don't live up to your movie romance, they don't live up to your Shakespearean romance that you have in your head and for your life? Just know that the partner that you do end up with will fit that. That is one quality, is that they will be, you will have that romantic love that is like a movie. You really will. At least once in your life you'll have it. But let me know if that's you. You also get money from doing things with spirituality. You get gains and other people's resources by doing things in a spiritual realm, whether it be, again, through astrology or helping people or a psychic, or it could even be film and television that you could be very, very good in, because Neptune rules film and television. You can be an actor, a painter, a dancer. You can get money through those things and through those mediums with this placement. If that sounds like you, let me know in the comments if these things sound like you. Also, while you're at it, let me know the sign that your Neptune in the 8th house is in, and then that will let me better able to help you, and I can write back 2 little sentences on what you could be experiencing with your specific Neptune in the 8th house placement with that sign that you give me, okay? Because this is a general video, and there's no way that I can hit the nail on every head out there for every person out there in the world watching this video. But that is what this placement is going to give. I want you to continue to be the psychic, mystical, magical person that you are. I know that sometimes you're always searching for the magic in everything that you do in life and the things that you consider normal, and just know that in your search, although it may seem bleak and you may seem like a Harry Potter around a lot of muggles, know that there is someone like you looking for you as well, okay? And there is that textbook romance, there is that life that you want. Your dreams can become reality with this placement, and you will always be divinely protected. You are never alone, and you have been really divinely blessed and graced with this placement. So use it to your advantage, and do use this placement to help others. You know, Neptune, for me, it means sometimes, I don't know why Neptune just gives me very much like Jesus Christ energy, where it's like you have to give. You have to be a symbol of someone that is giving from a place of higher realms. And so be that, emulate that, and you will only always be blessed, and you will only always find yourself at the right place at the right time. And your transitions in life will never be hard, but they will only ever be, the transitions in your life will only be good when you are faithful and true, and you are seeking divine nuggets from the universe, okay? When you are seeking understanding and you are saying, you know what, I'm going to reject the norm, I'm going to reject the mundane things that we got to do in our lives, and I'm going to follow the law. Don't follow man, follow God, follow the universe. And if you think like that, you'll always be okay, all right? If you move like that, you'll always be okay. Your steps will always be graced. So I really do hope that you gain some clarity and some knowledge and inspiration from this video. If you have another placement within your birth chart that you would like for me to cover, write it down in the comments below, and I will see if I can get that video up in the queue for you. But I am wishing good things for you, and I will see you on the next video. Have a great day. Bye. Now, Neptune in the 9th house is going to give me someone who is on a quest for truth of spirituality and the higher realms of God and the divine. You know, this could also be someone who probably studied drama or art in high school and in college, you know. But before we go ahead and really dive deep into that very mystical, very philosophical placement, let's go ahead and dissect the placement into twos. That way we are able to do more with the information we've been given in different areas of our life, and we're not just confined to Neptune in the 9th house, okay? So with Neptune in the birth chart is always going to show me where the spiritual fortitude and the spiritual faculties of the person is found. You know, this is going to be where this person experiences what we deem as God or the universe or a higher power, okay? And I have a better story for you to explain what I mean. Is that I have a friend in LA who calls me up from time to time, and you know, she's on the dating scene and she's looking for her next partner or the next person that she wants to settle down with. And she was on a date with this guy, and she was telling me how, you know, she really feels that she likes the guy, but he's not spiritual enough for her. And I was like, no, like, pump the brakes. It's not about if they're spiritual, because we are all spiritual. But with most people, what it is that you have to know where the person sees spirit or experiences God or experiences a higher force in their life. You know, some people experiences God or the universe when they're out on a hike. You know, some people experience God when they're running. Some people experience God in the universe in magic when they are cooking for their family. Some people experience God when they are at the gym or working out or doing well in their career. It's all about finding that area in a person's life where they may experience these things that we deem as spirituality and God, because not everyone is going to be all-encompassing spiritual. You know, not everyone has that or has achieved that level of, hey, I'm a spiritual person. I know it takes for some people to, you got to pinpoint it for some and for most, to be honest, and that is kind of intentional. But yeah, that's what Neptune is going to signify. It's going to signify for me, it's going to show me where in the person's life do they experience what we deem as God and what we describe as a higher power or a higher force working in their life. This is also going to show me where this person will kind of be confused about these things and where they can't quite ground that area in their life, you know, where that thing is just out of the scope, just out of the reach of the person, to where they leave it up to the universe to handle it. They go, you know what, love is too hard for me. If they have maybe Neptune in the 7th house or something like that, they go, oh, you know what, love is too hard for me. I'll let the universe, or I'll let whatever is handling those things handle it. You see, that's what Neptune is. And then when those things are granted, that person goes, wow, you know what, I gave up, I surrendered, I had faith in that area because I just didn't have the power to do it. And now when it is granted to me, they are saying, oh wow, that must have been divinely given to me from something bigger than me. You see, that is what Neptune is, okay? So the ninth house is ruled by Sagittarius, and it is ruled by Jupiter, okay? They say that this is the house of luck. This is also the house of your travels, your world travels. This is the house of your father. This is also the house of college, okay? So now, no matter what planet, no matter what sign your respective ninth house may be, because that is different for everyone depending on what your rising sign is, know that the default out of the packaging birth chart is always going to have an underlining layer, and that is going to be ruled by Sagittarius and Jupiter ruling the ninth house, okay? Now, what happens when we take Neptune and we throw it into the ninth house, okay? This is going to give me someone who probably had a very spiritual, religious father. Their father or their first guru growing up was probably very into church, or you probably found yourself going with someone growing up to church very early on. You probably really grew up in a very spiritual household or a very artistic household, a household of your father probably trying to foster your either religious faculties or your artistic faculties, or both. So that is going to signify that with the father. The father is probably going to be very spiritual, very woo-woo, and probably very confusing to you. You're probably going to have a very confusing relationship with your father. Sometimes you're just not going to understand who your father is exactly, or what is really his deal, right? It's going to be very much that energy, but you're going to have a very, I will say that you will have a very blessed father, okay? And with this placement, you will probably be far away from the father, okay? But with this is you will be divinely blessed in this life, and you will call that luck, and you will see it as lucky. But with Neptune, an already a higher power, divinely given planet that is already full of the divine and full of magic, being put in a house that is of God, of higher knowledge, of philosophy, you will be blessed in this life, very much so. You probably believe in miracles. You have probably witnessed miracles. You have probably seen things in your life that you go, wow, you know what, that is nothing but God. Now, when I say God in this video, I want you to insert whatever you believe in this life, whether that be the universe, whether that be a higher power, whether that be Buddha, whether that be whatever. When I say God, just know that I'm talking about the universe, okay? I want that to be clear, okay? Or whatever you believe in, but it's gonna be, you know what I mean, spirituality, God, the universe, they're all interchangeable, all right? So know that when I'm saying that in this video, that's what I mean. But with this placement, you're going to be blessed by God and the universe, very much so. You're going to be very lucky. You are going to always be in the nick of time, or always in the right place at the right time. And you are also going to be on a quest to search for the truth and the knowledge of what this life is all about and the higher meaning of it. You're not going to take science's word for it. You want to know the magical properties of it. You're probably going to be really into hermeticism. You're going to be really into esoteric knowledge. You're going to be really looking for your next guru, or that next person that can really teach you what this is all about. You probably have dreams and visions and hopes and dreams of going away to India to an ashram, or communing with monks. You know, you probably have had those dreams like, you know what, I want to just give everything away and I just want to become a monk. Like, I want to go to the mountains and just become a monk and read all the secret books about all what life is about. You know, that is what you are going to be. And you are also going to have a creative streak as well. I would say that in college you probably learned theology. You were probably really fascinated by theology because you have such a vast imagination. You are also going to be someone that is highly creative. So you probably also really liked musical theater growing up, or you really studied that. Drama, acting, film, and television. Singing is something that you probably learned about in school or were interested in school. Painting, art class, these things really come out to me. Like, I would say that you in school probably had all F's on your report card, but when it came to like English and when it came to acting or art, you got flying colors, right? Like, but everything else, all your grades were like suck, and your parents would go, but you're excelling in English and you're excelling in, you know, you're excelling in musical theater and play production and art. What's that about? Like, and that's just because you're like, look, I'm gifted in that area, right? I don't know what it is, but for some reason my brain turns on when I am learning about these things that require a higher mind to understand it. Like, you were really fascinated in English class when Shakespeare came about, or when you were talking about philosophical things. That is what really makes you tick. And so you're gonna be very much like that. If this sounds like you, can you let me know in the comments below? Did you have a father that was probably very creative and or very spiritual, and you grew up in a spiritual household or a creative household, and sometimes your relationship with your father can be very confusing? Maybe you guys just don't really talk. Are you also someone that in college you really wanted to study something involving theology or philosophy and art and musical theater and acting and film? Is that you? Let me know. And while you're at it, let me know the sign that your Neptune in the 9th house may be in, because then I can write back to you what you could be experiencing with that specific placement, okay? This is a very general video, so there's no way that everything is going to land for everyone out in the world. But what I do know with this placement is that you're going to be really in search of the magic of this life. You are really going to be blessed in this life as well, and you're going to be one of the few people in this life that experiences miracles, because you're going to be, your faith is going to be very strong and your imagination is going to be very high. And I don't want you to sacrifice that or give that up, okay? But you're going to be very intuitive, very psychic. You are also going to have very creative ideas. Astral travel, psychedelics could be very good for you. You grow when you travel. You get very philosophical and you see God when you travel. Like, you going away to Hawaii and seeing the way things are run in places like Hawaii, or anywhere you go, really, you're gonna be like, wow, that's God. Like, you are gonna be like that. You're just gonna be very spiritual and very like, you're just gonna be there, all right? Like, if that sounds like you, let me know. But a lot of your wisdom is gonna be channeled as well. You're gonna have like channeled wisdom. You're gonna get these downloads and these like insights, maybe your dreams. When you go to sleep, that's when you really get these you're gonna be smart, but it's gonna be like divine wisdom, if that makes sense. You could have an old soul, because you can have an old soul. An old soul for me signifies someone that is well beyond their years, not because they are book smart or because they go to school. You can be an old soul and be 2 years old and you've never gone to school a day in your life, and that is significations of someone that has an old soul, because that soul has been through many lives and has gained spiritual wisdom. You see, so you can be an old soul. You can be someone that is smart because you've been divinely carried through life after life after life, and that is spirituality in itself. So you could be that. But yeah, you could also have a lot of faith in humanity, you could get along with different walks of life and different cultures of life. You can really understand that common thread within everyone. And try not to fall into a cult, try not to be swindled, try not to follow people who say they have something for you when really they probably just want something out of you, because you could be very susceptible to that. Try not to allow your idealistic view of life to get you in trouble, okay? Still keep your feet on the ground, still have faith, still search for that truth in life, because it will only bring you to great things and grant miracles in your life, and because you will be blessed. But also be wary and be cognizant that people prey on spiritual people too. Just because you're spiritual doesn't mean you are separated from people getting a cash grab out of you or wanting to do nefarious things to you, with you, or from you because you're spiritual. In every area of life we have frauds. In every area of life we have people who are fraudulent or stealers or people who lie, okay? So be very careful of that. Be very careful of people who want to put a veil over your face, okay? But I really do hope that you gained some wisdom and some clarity with this placement. I really had a great time kind of dissecting this for you. But if you have a different placement within your birth chart that you would like for me to cover, let me know in the comments below, and I will be sure to put that as a part of my queue of a video that I will put out for you, okay? But until the next video, I will see y'all on the next video. Continue to stay magical, continue to have faith, and I will see you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye. Into Neptune in the 10th house, okay? So Neptune in the 10th house is going to give me a very grand placement of someone who has the potential to be a great spiritual leader in this life, or work in fields that raise the consciousness of humanity in some big way or shape or form. But before we go ahead and unpack that very mystical placement, let's go ahead and dissect the placement and separate the aspects. That way we can do more with the energy and the information we've been given in different areas of our life, and we're not just confined to Neptune in the 10th house, okay? So with Neptune in the birth chart, this is going to show me where the spiritual faculties of a person is, okay? It's going to show me where this person communes and divines with spirit. It's also going to show me where this person could be confused in an area, where this thing, wherever Neptune is sitting in and pointing at, is going to show me where this person has trouble grounding that area of life, okay? And it is with that this person will leave it up to chance, or leave it up to God or a higher power to intercept in that area, okay? And then by that person, by the universe granting it through that area, that person goes, wow, okay, that must be God, that must be the universe, because I have such a hard time grounding that area. And when it finally comes, that person scratches their head and they go, wow, that's the universe. You know, I have a story actually. My friend is now on the dating scene, and she was calling me the other day, and she was like, you know, I really like this guy, but he's not spiritual enough for me. And I was like, wait, pump the brakes. It's not about that. You have to understand that we are all spiritual. It's just about finding where that person sees spirit and communes with spirit and the universe in life. You know, for some people experience God when they're out running on the track. Some people experience the universe and God when they are cooking for their family. Some people experience God and the universe when they are out on their job and in their career, you know, and it's just about finding where that is for a person. So this is what Neptune is for an astrologer, and just in your birth chart in general, okay? So with the 10th house, moving over to the 10th house, the 10th house is going to always be ruled by Capricorn and Saturn, okay? Capricorn and Saturn rule the 10th house because the 10th house is ruling your public image, who you become in this life. You know, when you go out, the first thing that people ask you is, what do you do? Who are you? And they're not just asking you to ask you. They sometimes innately feel that asking you this then will make the room respond to you differently. And those things are karmic. You know, you being able to say you are this or you are that is a karmic thing. And that is what Saturn rules, and that is what Capricorn rules, okay? And they also call the 10th house the midheaven, who you become in this life, okay? So the planets in that house will influence who you become and what you do in this life, and the sign will also influence that as well. But yeah, what happens when we throw Neptune into the 10th house. Okay, Neptune in the 10th house is going to make for someone who can make their dreams come true. Maybe you have this ideal dream in your life that you just want to be this thing, you want to become this person, or you want to achieve this big goal in your life that you've had since you were younger, right? And then one day it happens. You know, that is with this placement. With this placement, it's like making dreams come true. You could be a miracle worker. You could be someone that achieves great heights by the stroke of divine. You know, you are divinely being given grace in this area. You could be someone that can be in acting, in television, and you can also be a little bit of scared of fame as well. You can be in a healing profession, but by a healing profession I mean more so on the spiritual side, on the creative side. You could heal people through creativity. You could heal people through spirituality, or you could be like a professional astrologer, or a professional like healer of some type within a spiritual or creative realm. Maybe you're a singer and that's how you heal people. Maybe you're a dancer and that's how you heal people. Maybe you make very inspiring videos or inspiring television shows and that is how you heal people. You could also be the person acting in these very spiritual things on television or in your films. It's just you move people with what you do creatively and spiritually, okay? But you at the end of the day want to do something that makes a difference in this life, and you also are going to be someone that knows what people need on a soul level. You are going to be someone that wants to push humanity forward on a spiritual level. This gives me very much like Jesus Christ figure in a way, or someone who, a light worker as they call it, or you know, a Pleiadian or whatever, a star seed. You're gonna be all those things. You're gonna be someone who has a light, and you're gonna want people to follow you for spiritual, philosophical reasons. You raising the consciousness, you telling people that they can do anything and be anything. You're gonna want to be a symbol of that. You're gonna have very high faith, and people are gonna see you as someone that can be of a very high spiritual order. But you can be in a lot of things regarding creativity, acting, bartending. This gives me very much like Pisces in the midheaven, okay? If you're a Pisces midheaven or a Pisces in the 10th house or Neptune in the 10th house, this is what this energy is gonna give. You could also be somewhat misunderstood in your job as well. Some people, although you're nice and innocent, you have an aura about you that is very mysterious and far away. And even though you do all these great things, right, and you are this symbol for good, there is something about you that is far away. And think about that. Neptune itself is far away. Remember what I just explained about Neptune and what Neptune symbolizes, right? Neptune is something that is just beyond our reach, just beyond our scope, where people may get you, but they're still confused by you. They get you, but they just feel that you're far away. And that is because you have a far away outer planet that rules confusion and mysticism and watery things and very dreamlike things. You're going to be very dreamlike. You're going to have that planet ruling your public image. And so although that is great and that is powerful and that can serve you in areas of creativity and music and drama and putting up an image for people, that very image makes people kind of feel that you're far away, that you're just like, they can't quite reach out and grab you. You feel like a mythical creature. You really do. You're like a mythical creature incarnate, and that's inspiring, but yet also like far away. Your father figure could also be a little bit missing in action, or just you could be confused by your father. Like, that's one thing. But yeah, dancer, singer could be good for you. You could be in a medical profession. You could be in the pharmaceutical industry. I don't really lean towards that, but you can be that depending on the sign that your 10th house is in. We're talking about the planet, but depending on the sign, you could lean more into the practical side of what Neptune can do for you in the 10th house. But with this, I really do feel that, you know, you're just gonna be like on the more dreamy side. You're gonna be very influential. You could do really well at things like acting, and you're gonna have an image and a feeling about you that is like world savior. You're gonna be very world savior esque, and you're going to want to sacrifice and show people the way. Whatever the way is, whatever that means to you, you're going to really want to show people the way on a very soul intrinsic level. If this sounds like you, let me know. Are you in a very creative field? Are you a bartender? Do you work with alcohol or escapism? Do you make something in your career? Answer me this. Are you a symbol or a propagator of fantasy, or making entertainment something that you do a part of your career? Maybe you are a party planner or a bartender or a club manager, where again you have to take this building or this setting and you have to put music in it, lights, cameras, action, this, and when people come there, they are transported into a different area of life. Are you someone that heals people through dancing and singing and being creative and being a symbol of spirituality? Is that you? Let me know in the comments below. Are you someone that, I'm just gonna let this kind of like move through this ambulance. But wait, that is so funny, because that is something you could be in. You could be in the medical field. You really could be in the medical field with Neptune in the 10th house. You could be someone that is a ambulance driver. That's so funny that that even came by, because that reminded me. You can be that. You can be someone that is that, like literally picking people up and saving people. Again, world savior. Like, I don't know why the saving aspect comes about, but it really does with Neptune. You really want to save and you want to help, and that can lean into the more practical side of Neptune, where you are probably someone who rides around in an ambulance and saves people. But that could definitely be it. If this sounds like you, let me know in the comments below, okay? And while you're at it, could you let me know the sign that your Neptune in the 10th house is, and I will write back to you what you could be experiencing with that specific placement, okay? Because remember, these are general videos, and there's no way that I could hit the nail on the head for everyone out there in the world watching these videos, okay? But if you give me the sign that your Neptune in the 10th house is in, I can write back to you what you could be experiencing, okay? But with this placement, I want you to continue to be a symbol of hope and change in the world, okay? You could be someone that has very deep insights of what people are struggling through on a global scale. You could be someone that knows exactly where we need to be moving towards as a humanity and as one. You could have your finger on the pulse of what the universe wants from us, and you can be a symbol of that. You can be a symbol of hope and faith and spirituality and magic for people. You can show people that there is magic, there is more to this life than just the mundane. And so continue to be that way, continue to have faith, continue to be someone that shows people that there are miracles and that magic is real and that God is real, and follow your dreams, because it will be by you following your dreams that you are able to help others discover theirs, okay? But yeah, this is a very beautiful mystical placement. Try not to become a cult leader. Try not to be someone that is very sly and sneaky and doing the wrong thing, okay? Use your power for good, because you can be someone that is very good at being deceptive or being good at putting up any image that you want. You can be literally you can be anything you want. You can be anything you want, but I want you to choose the good side of that, all right? So I really do hope that you got some good gains out of this video. I hope that you gained some clarity and some encouragement and some knowledge from this video. If you want me to do a different placement within your chart, let me know in the comments, and I will see if I can get that in the queue for you as another video that I do for you guys. But until the next video, stay true, stay you, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye. To Neptune in the 11th house. Now, Neptune in the 11th house is going to give me someone who wants to be a part of friendship groups and people who have a creative and spiritual touch to them. This is also someone who has very high idealistic hopes for the future. But before we go ahead and dissect that very futuristic placement and very creative placement, let's go ahead and dissect it. That way we are able to do more with the information that we've been given, and we're not just confined to Neptune in the 11th house, okay? So with Neptune as an astrologer, this is going to show me where the spiritual fortitude of a person is and where this person communes and divines with spirit, okay? This is going to show me where this person is also, like, this thing is just out of reach for the person. You know, this is just out of that scope of consciousness of that person. It's very nebulous to the person, all right? It's the creative forces. I have a story to better help me to explain to you what I mean by what Neptune is, okay? So I have a friend who she's dating, and she's new and back on the dating scene, and a big deal breaker for her is someone that is spiritual. And she had met this guy that she really hit it off with, and she was telling me, she was like, oh my God, James, like, I like this guy, but you know, he's not spiritual, and he's not very spiritual. And I was like, wait, pump the brakes. Before you do away with this guy, you have to understand that everyone isn't going to be all encompassing spiritual and just say outright, I'm spiritual and I believe in God and the universe, and you know, this is what it is. No, we are all spiritual, but it's just about finding where that person sees and is communicating with spirit. You know, for some people experience God in the universe when they are cooking for their family. Some people experience God in the universe when they are out for a run. Some people experience God in the universe when they are doing well in their career and giving service to the world. You know, that's where they see God and things. And so Neptune is going to be that place in the chart where I see, okay, this is where this person experiences that nirvana or that communion with God, or what we deem as God or the universe or a higher power, okay? Neptune is also going to show me where things may be confusing to the person, where these things may be very hard to ground for the person, and it is because the universe wants this person to have faith in this area to the point where when it is granted to the person, this person goes, wow, you know, friends are so hard for me, but I'm being granted these friends, and these must be the divinely ordered friends that I am meant to be a part of, okay? So now, moving on to the 11th house. The 11th house is always going to be ruled by Aquarius, and it's going to be ruled by Uranus and Saturn, all right? Now, no matter what sign and planets you may have in your birth chart, know that the default out of the packaging birth chart, that the 11th house is always going to be ruled by Aquarius, 11th house, and Saturn, all right? And this house is going to signify your dreams, your goals for the future. Who do you want to become even after you achieve your career success? What do you really ultimately want to end up as in this life? Do you want that home on the countryside, and do you want to make jam for fun? Like, do you want to find a place in your life where you make so much money that now you can travel the world? This is what the 11th house is going to signify. It's those far out dreams that when everything is perfect in your eyes, what do you want to do then? All right. This is also going to be the community that you find yourselves in. This is going to be the communities and the organizations that you find yourself a part of, and it's going to be your friend group. All right. So what happens when we throw Neptune in the 11th house? For me, this is going to show me and signify that you are going to be a part of and want to be a part of very spiritual, creative groups. This could also, on a more practical side, show me that you could be a part of very big medical organizations, or a part of organizations that are very spiritual and artistic, okay? It could be either one of the three of those things: spirituality, artistic, or medically driven fields, or a combination of all three. You know, you could be using all three of those forces in the later scope of your life. Like, you may have dreams to make a product that requires some type of spiritual medicine that you give out to the world in the future in some shape or form, you know? That could be creative, that could be spiritual, and that can be a dream of yours in the future. Neptune in the 11th also shows me that you may have trouble finding the organizations that you want to be a part of. You may have trouble saving money as well. You may have trouble saving money, or you may have trouble finding the friends and the organizations that you want to be a part of. But when these things do come to you, you understand in your mind that, wow, okay, these friends are in my life, and I better hold on tight to these friends, because these friends are divinely ordered. These friends were sent from God. These friends were sent from the universe. And you probably, more time than not, find that you have friends who are just as creative and just as spiritual as you are. Yeah, but that definitely gives me Neptune in the 11th house vibes. You could be very imaginative, very highly creative. You could have a very high ideal for how you want your life to end up or the way you want your life to go. But this house is going to give me definitely someone who finds themselves a part of big organizations that have to do with healing, creativity, and it could be music, it could be acting, it could be the medical field and things like that. And you could be working in that today, and you could be in that organization working for a better tomorrow in some shape or form, okay? But if this sounds like you, let me know. Does this sound like you at all? I'm just behind my computer and on YouTube and doing research and things like that, and I'm intuitively speaking through this placement. So just let me know, if this sounds like you or not. And while you're at it, can you let me know what sign your Neptune in the 11th house is, because that can also change a lot of factors within the analysis, all right? And I can write back 2 little sentences in the comments of what you could be experiencing with this placement. But this is gonna give me someone who definitely has very high dreams and goals for their future. And you could even be someone that is a little psychic and you want to maybe heal the world in some way. You want to do something, build a product, find a medicine, become someone that does something for the greater whole of humanity, for sure. You want to involve your dreams. What you do in the future is directly connected for what you want to do for others. So yeah, that's a very cool placement. And if this sounds like you, let me know. Also, while you're at it, let me know of another placement that you'd like me to do, and I will get that up in the queue as a video of what I will do for you in the future. But I really do hope that you gain some clarity and some knowledge of this placement. Continue to find friends that are just like you, who are just as creative and just as magical and just as, dreamy as you are, and continue to have high ideals for the future, because you will be very blessed in this area. You may find that later on in life that miracles happen through your friendship groups. Maybe you and your friends go on pilgrimages and become very spiritual. Maybe you and your friends build a spiritual organization that helps heal the world. That could be something that can be a very big possibility for you in your life. But yeah, again, I really do hope that this game gave you some clarity and you gain insight on this very unique and dreamy placement. And until next time, I will see y'all on the next video. Y'all have a great day. Bye. To get into Neptune in the 12th house. Now, this is going to give me someone who is very wise and very psychic, and they may keep that aspect of themselves hidden and away from public view. But before we go ahead and dive deep into this very mystical and dreamy aspect, let's go ahead and dissect it. That way we are better able to do more with the information we've been given, and we're not confined to just Neptune in the 12th house, okay? That way when we see Neptune playing out in the world, we can go, okay, that's Neptune energy playing out. When we see 12th house playing out in the world, we can go, okay, that's 12th house energy playing out, okay? So, with Neptune, as an astrologer, Neptune is always going to show me where the spiritual forces of a person is. Everyone isn't always outwardly spiritual right off the bat. Some people need a pinpointed area of their life where they see and commune and divine with spirit, okay? And I have a story actually that will better help me to explain to you what Neptune is for people, okay? So I have a friend in LA, and she calls me all the time because she's now newly on the market. She's single, she's playing the field, and she was calling me and she was like, oh my God, there's this guy, he's coming into my life and I like him, he checks all the boxes, but he's not spiritual enough for me. And I was like, wait, pump the brakes. It's not that he's not spiritual, it's just about you have to find where he is spiritual, where he may see magic, where he may see God and communicate with the higher forces of the universe that we live in. And for some people experience God while they're cooking for their family. Some people experience God while they're out on the b-ball field playing hoops and shooting basketball. Some people experience God when they are in their career and doing well for the people around them. And it's just about finding where you experience your God or your higher power, and that's where Neptune for me is going to show me of a person. Now, this is also going to show me where this person has a hard time grounding things. Neptune is a higher octave of Venus, and with this, it's going to be something that is nebulous to us. It's going to be something. Wherever Neptune is pointing to, it's going to show me where this person has a hard time grounding this area. There's a sense of confusion about this area of their life, and they can't quite ground it. They don't quite get it. And it is meant that when the universe does grant them to get it, or they do open the doors for this person to receive the thing that Neptune is sitting in, that is when the person goes, whoa, you know, I was so confused about that thing and I didn't have the power to make that thing real in my life, that when it does happen, they go, wow, that must have been the universe. You see? So this is the area of life where they commune and divine with God and a higher power. This is where that channel, where that connection is with the cup and the line to spirit is. You know, this is where that person communicates with it, is where Neptune is, all right? So with the 12th house is going to be ruled actually by Neptune, and it is going to be ruled by Jupiter, and it's going to also be ruled by the sign of Pisces. Now, no matter what planets and what sign your 12th house may be in, because that will always change depending on whose birth chart you are looking at and what the rising sign is for you. The default out of the packaging birth chart, like I like to say, it's going to be ruled by Pisces, Jupiter, and Neptune is going to rule the 12th house, okay? And this is going to give themes of your bedtime dreams. This is going to give you energy of your mysticism and your spirituality and things that are hidden from you. You know, they are just out of view. Remember, I said Neptune is what? It's that thing that is just out of view. It's just out of your scope, just out of your range of consciousness of what you are able to access. And that is what this theme is, whether that be physically, you know, mentally and emotionally. Sometimes that's what this theme of this house, of the 12th house, is. It's going to give you themes of things that are far away from you and things that are in far off lands and hidden and losses, because it's hard to ground, it's hard to keep and manage and maintain. And it's also the house of your dreams and your dreams. Piscean energy rules this house, okay? So what happens when we throw Neptune into the 12th house? Well, first and foremost, before I even get into the analysis, Neptune is at home in this sign, okay? So your 12th lord is in the 12th house in this sign. Well, so to speak, actually, disregard what I just said. But the planet Neptune is going to kind of be at home here, okay? In some senses, because the default ruler is Neptune, all right? But that could change depending on what your sign is. But for the most part, I'd say that, you know, you could be a very wise and esoteric spiritual teacher, but you keep it to yourself. You could be someone who is very psychic and very in tune with the flow of the universe, but you just kind of keep that to yourself, you know. Or you probably don't even realize that you are those things. You probably walk around and say certain things or do certain things, and people go, wow, how do you know that? Or how's she know that? Like, she just read my life for filth on a spiritual sense, and wow, how does she know? You could be very wise beyond your years. You could have very spiritual wisdoms about you. You could have, you could be very good with music. You could be a very gifted person when it comes to creativity. And sometimes these things may just be hidden to you. Now, that may differ with other planets that are in your house, but with this, with Neptune in the 12th, you could be very gifted at music, gifted in the arts, gifted with mysticism and things like that. And you may only be able to express these things when you are behind closed doors or in far away lands. You know, if you are at home in the home that you grew up in, you may have hard time expressing that creativity that is within you for whatever reason. Maybe it's fear of judgment from your family and friends, but the minute that you get a job in some far off land, or when you are in your room by yourself, this is when these things can come out and you can show yourself, wow, I didn't know that I was able to read tarot cards. Wow, I didn't know that I could play this guitar like that. Wow, I didn't know that I was the singer. But when my mom is at work, I can sing. When I'm by myself, I can sing. You know, like, it's things like that. You probably have a lot of creative gifts that are lost on you and hidden from you until you are away from others. And that could be due to It could be due to a lot of things. It could be due to fear of judgment. It could be just that you are not being given the space to express yourself. You could be insecure about your gifts. You could be someone that just has not had the time to cultivate your gifts. And it is only when you find yourself away on your own, doing your own thing, that these things come out, okay? You could be very highly psychic. You could have very prophetic dreams. You could be very intuitive. You also could repeat patterns and cycles in your life only because you aren't really getting the lesson. The spiritual wisdom and the spiritual nugget in your life that maybe would prevent you from repeating the lesson is probably lost on you. You probably don't quite get it, right? Like these divine downloads that you should be getting are kind of lost on you sometimes. But this is a very magical placement, I feel like. And this placement, you could also learn that you can't help everybody. You probably want to help everyone, but for some reason, that empathy that you have, that you definitely have, sometimes you aren't given the space to be empathetic to everyone. Sometimes you can't sacrifice yourself for everyone. And that's probably a lesson that you're learning, is that you really can't help everyone. Even though you have that feeling of wanting to help people and do things for people, you probably can't. And that is probably a part of your lesson. If that is the way that it is, that's not a bad thing. For some people, you probably did so much for people in your past life that in this life, the universe is like, look, I want you to be spiritually wise for yourself. I want you to use all that spiritual wisdom so that you pass your test. You know, in your past life, you were probably running around telling everyone how to pass their karmas and how to get through this and how to do that and how to do this, but you forgot about you. You forgot, like, damn, I'm not doing what I need to do to spiritually ascend and to spiritually get through this life and this earth school that we're in. So be very careful of that. Be someone that is helping people, but don't forget about yourself as well. And that's probably something that you're learning in this life. But yeah, you are a very spiritual person. You are very spiritually tapped in and very highly creative, and try not to worry about expressing that too much to the world. I guarantee that if you cultivate these things by yourself and to yourself and for yourself, that is when the best parts of you will come out. That is when the magical forces of you will come out, you know. But yeah, I would really highly suggest becoming like a psychic or an astrologer, or someone like, you could even be a preacher or someone that travels to learn about spiritual things is something that you could be very gifted in and lucky in. You probably are someone that is also very good at astral travel, and when you sleep you can astral travel or astral project. But you could be a great healer, a great psychic, again, someone who heals people on a psychic, spiritual, mystical level, and that's astrology. That's yeah. So I really do hope that this helped you. If this sounds like you at all, let me know, okay? Put in the comments if this sounds like you, and while you're at it, can you put the sign that your Neptune in the 12th house is in, because then that will better it will help me to help you, and I can write back to you what you could be experiencing with that specific placement, okay? Because this is a general video, and there's no way, no how that I could ever hit the nail on the head for everyone out there. You know, some things are gonna land and some things aren't, but if you give me the sign that your Neptune in the 12th house is in, I could write back to you about what you could be experiencing for sure with that placement, okay? But again, I really do hope that you got some clarity and some insight and encouragement from this placement. Continue to be spiritual on your own. Continue to find space in your life where you are being empathetic towards yourself, because that could be something that you are missing. And continue to be a light, all right? Many may not see it, but the ones that are truly for you will see it and will rock by your side, okay? I love you. I'm rooting for you, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.